you can kiss your ass goodbye.
Oh shit. What is up with item rack? Oh, I guess I haven't set up any item racks for this character yet. Alright, that makes sense. I forgot. I was used to playing my hunter.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Wow. I can't believe that leather braces are better than what I've got at level 19, but they are. About to enter the Pirate Cove, where many mages have died doing AoE.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Hold on one second. I got a food delivery that's gonna take up some of my attention for a minute. Yeah, she's never shopped orders for me. One second. I gotta... Oh, I'll be back in just a minute. We're gonna have to empty our inventory pretty soon.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Snowflakes are falling in Dunmurrow. Torrens and Mogor all dressed like gnomes. From Barrens to Elwyn to Silver Pine, there's just one thing on our minds. With with every zone, with every quest. I hope you'll make it with no deaths, 'cause it won't feel like Christmas without fresh. Loving each other with mistletoe, gingerbread cookies with milk that's ice cold, and storming is covered in Christmas lights. This is the game of our time, and every zone is packed with players all in. Just watching all that old vanilla singing as a rockers fill the holiday chick. Christmas in Westfall this year, with every zone, with every quest. I hope you'll make it with no deaths, 'cause it won't feel like Christmas without fresh. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths, 'cause baby it's that classic hardcore Christmas fresh.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Shit, we got too many. They keep spawning. They like kept spawning. Here we go. Oh. Okay. I need to clear my inventory. They are. They are. They're dangerous because the one guys can disarm you, and while the fireballs hitting you in the face actually hurt really badly. So they're very dangerous. Even at my level. You saw my health melting pretty quick. But I think we need to... I don't really need these guys anyway, but I need to clear my inventory because it's obviously a disaster right now, so... Let's go clear the inventory.
Open for business.
Don't need.
Farewell.
It's a lot of meat. Oh yeah, we all want that. Cooking stuff. Send all this crap to my banker. It's a lot of crap. That is a lot of crap. I guess we can send this too.
I buy and trade.
Flask of oil, I don't
Be
need
careful.
that. We don't need this either. %. There we go. I should have sent that to my banker.
Can I help you?
You
See
need
you
something?
around.
See you around.
Light be with you. Be careful.
Let's get some better mana drink. Should have done that when I was at the innkeeper a minute ago.
Light be with you. Light bless you.
Alright, we're 6 to 20. We don't have the AoE build right off the bat. I may respec at some point. Well, I'm sure I will respec at some point, but we're going with a kind of a speed, more of a speed leveling build. You know, going with a Seal of Command. Died at level 14 last night? Oh man, dude, I was just over there right just a minute ago, because I was just gonna fight my way to the vendor, but then I just like all of a sudden the mobs started respawning kind of around me, and I had like 2 mobs on me and then 3 mobs on me, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just run to Sentinel. Even at level 19, those pillagers hit very very hard, and the other guys too can disarm you. You know, I think some of them can have some backstabs as well. Maybe, I can't remember for sure if they do. But you never want to put your back to a humanoid that has any kind of like Defias, any kind of a Defias pillager, or a Defias. They might backstab you. But yeah, sorry your character died. You just gotta get back up on the horse, hero. Roll another character, level up. You know what I mean? Just the sooner you level, get going level, and the sooner you'll forget about the character that died. And I always say once you get past the level of the character that died, then it doesn't. You don't even remember it anymore. You know. What were you playing? What class were you playing? I mean, it depends. If you're not. That was a protection. Oh, it was a protection paladin? Shit. Well, Paladin's going to be one of the easiest classes to get to 60 on. Of course, at low levels, you don't have your full kit. But even at this level, it's hard to kill me, right? I mean, I can bubble, pretty much full heal. So then you got to knock my health low once. Then I bubble, then I heal back up. Then you got to knock down my health low again. And then I lay on hands. And then you got to knock down my health again. So you almost have to kill me 3 times. So Protection Paladin is by far the easiest, I think, to get to not die on. But it's a little bit of a, protection is a little boring in the beginning. The first like 30 levels can be a little bit slow and boring because you're doing a lot of auto attacking, but it's all about slowly building up the strength of the Protection Paladin. Like over time, you just slowly get stronger and stronger. By the time you're like 45, 50, you're actually you get really tanky. And of course, a lot of it depends on if you've got good gear. You want to make sure you have good gear, but if you can help it, I've got a level 51 character, so I sent over, 30 gold from that character. I think I'm down to 24 gold, but I sent over 30 gold from that character, so I was able to. I watched the auction house and get if I can get a really good, deal on blue items, like I got this shield for 1 gold, which is good, and I got this sword for 1.5, or actually I think I got the sword for 2.5 gold, but it was good because it would last me 6, 7 levels, and I don't like having to worry about swapping out gear a lot, so sometimes if I can pay a couple gold for something and I don't have to worry about it for 6, 7 levels, if I'm out in the world leveling and not worrying about trying to get gear, I feel like I level faster, so more of a lapse of judgment. Yeah, it's easy to die to the pillagers if you get 2 or 3 of them on you, and the damage piles up really quick. So let me check my phone because I've got a grocery order delivery here, and I want to make sure she's not messaging me. Shopping complete, good. I got some Mexican Coca-Cola en route here, hopefully, because I'm out of soda. But yeah, gear at low level. And one thing you can do too is, if you can afford it, get yourself +7 stamina to get yourself a decent bracer. It doesn't have to be super great. And get yourself, if you can afford it, get yourself +7 stamina to bracer, and then get yourself plus 5 or 7 stamina to boots. Just those 2 enchantments. If you get a +7, +5, you're talking that's an additional 120 health. If you do that at level, between level 1 and 5, that's double your health almost. If you look at me, I'm level 19 and I only have 677 health. So another 120 is a pretty significant chunk. So if you're really concerned, if you have any other characters that are higher level and you've got a little bit of money, because it doesn't cost that much to get the mats to do a plus. I mean, +7 might be a little bit, but +5 isn't going to cost you hardly anything. I mean, you're talking probably some vision dust, and let's see if I've got it. No. Let me check here in a second. All right, so you've got here +7 stamina, literally 5 dream dust. That might cost a little bit, but it's not going to be tight. Even shield, shield. +7 stamina, 10 dream dust. Dream dust is probably going to run you some money though, so these are probably going to be a little bit too expensive for most people. Dream dust. I haven't looked recently, but I'm going to guess dream dust is probably. Here. We'll check the price. We'll just check the price. This is why I level really slow when I'm streaming, because I like to interact with people. Yeah, let's check the price just out of curiosity. What is the price of dream dust? I'm going to guess that 1 dream dust is probably at least maybe 20 silver. So if you need 10, that's 2 gold. So obviously that's too expensive. But let's see if I'm right. Let's see if 1 dream dust is 20 silver. It's going to be 20 to 50. If it's less than 20, I'd be really happy. That'd be really good. Yeah. During the winter? Yeah, well, I'm on vacation, so I'm not in any rush to get, you know, I'm not leveling. I don't level for speed. You know, I've got my 51 melee hunter, and then I've got my banker here. Let's just jump on. I guess we'll just jump on the hunter real quick. It doesn't matter either one. They're both in capital cities, but this one can move a little bit faster. Let's just see how much his vision does, right? Let's see how accurate I am. Oh, not vision, I'm sorry. Vision, see, vision's 11 silver, which is not bad. Like, you can do, like, I think a bracer, I think plus 5 bracer, chant to bracers, maybe like 5 vision dust or something. Maybe less. Here, let's check it out. I just happen to have the correct link to the website here. All right, bracer, all right. Enchant, we just want stamina. Where is it? Stamina, it's 6 soul dust, right? Let's go ahead and grab this, and let's get a screenshot of this real quick, and let's go ahead, close this browser, and then we're going to update our list here, right? And we'll get, this is like, we're going to call this the welfare. This is the welfare enchant bracket when you're poor as shit. So still 5 stamina is 50 health, so that's huge, right? So 6 soul dust. I'm going to guess soul dust are like 6 silver each. Let's take a look. Soul dust. 8 silver. So 8 silver, but then let's see how many we can get. Like if it's 6, let's say we get 10 for a gold. That's way too expensive. Yeah, so if you 6, so you're looking at, yeah, you're looking at, you know, 60 silver maybe for that enchantment, which that's a lot. If you're a new character, that's a lot. If your character's got like, you know, 20 gold in your inventory, then and you want to send like your baby alt, like, you know, 60 silver or gold, it might be worth it, right? Now the dream dust is going to be a lot more than I thought. The prices are higher than I thought they were. It's 31 silver. So it's, what did I say? I said 20 to 50. So they're a little bit high, but not too bad. I mean, I've seen dream dust on Skullrock. They were much higher than this. Once all the stupid gold sellers got the gold influx into the market, you just prices skyrocket, unfortunately. So, but the good news is, once you get one character up in level, like to 50, 60, then you can easily level another character, and it's much easier to, you know, to give them some gear, give them some gold, and you know, leveling's going to be quite a bit easier. It's just that first character levelings can be a little bit rough, because you're not going to have the best gear. But as a protection paladin, you don't really, I would say that the biggest thing you need is a good shield. If you're going to play prot, because a good shield's going to have a lot of armor on it, you know, like this is 547 armor, like think about that. I've only got 1492 armor. You know, take 547 out of that. That drops you down to what, like 950, 945? That drops you down to 945 armor. So, you know, so focus on, if you don't have a lot of money, focus on just keeping your shield up to date. That way you get a little bit of armor. You had 1052? What level were you?
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
What level were you? 14? Okay. Oh, you died to the pillagers? You're way too low level to be killing those guys, dude. Yeah, if you were killing the pillagers at 14, unless you were doing the second step. Were you doing the second step of the quest where you were like over by Gold Coast, like this field here? Yeah, 14's a bit low. I wouldn't recommend killing the pillagers at 14. I would try to be up around 16, just to be on the safe side. Especially as a, you know, it's just, like I did that quest yesterday, and I think I was 17. I think I was 17 when I did the second step of the quest. And even at 17, killing 2 of those at once, like one pillager and one non-pillager, you know, it was pretty, it was a little hairy. They knocked a lot of my health off. So, yeah, you kind of put yourself, you kind of rushed a little bit, I'd say. Yeah, next time just be a little bit higher level. I would recommend when you start Westfall to be like level 16. You know, when you want to do Westfall, don't do Westfall until you're like 16. Because it may seem easy in the beginning, like the first couple quests, the mobs are like, you know, level 12. But before you know it, they're like 15, 16, you know? I would definitely, when I hit Westfall, I was 16. When I started doing these quests right now, I was level 16. So, I'm not a big fan of Westfall in general anyway. I hate the color, the bright yellow-orange kind of bothers me, but yeah, I wouldn't do this until you're like 16. Well, I use I use an add-on. Well, not really an add-on. I use a third-party program. You know, I use Reshade. So if we turn Reshade off, this is what Westfall looks like to me. This is what Westfall looks like in basic vanilla WoW. That's what it looks like. Like if I just installed WoW and played it and came into Westfall, this is what it would look like. But because I'm using Reshade, looks like this. Magnum, Bartender. I'm using Bartender. I don't use a ton. I mean, I've got Bartender. Well, like the Reshade is not a WoW add-on. It's just a third-party program that allows me to apply filters to, you know, to the game. But I have quite a few. I mean, I have a lot. It feels like I have a lot of add-ons, but they're all really useful. I have Scrap, which just auto sells like gray junk. Advanced interface options that just allows me to. Oh no, advanced interface options I don't even need. Actually, I don't even need this one. We can remove that. Auctionator, obviously you know what Auctionator is. Bartender. Auctionator just for auction add-on. That's useful. Extended character stats is the one I was going to talk about. That's the one that gives me this additional window here, which gives me more information around my character stats, and I can customize it to only show like whatever I want to see. Like, if I don't want to see melee, I don't want to see melee. If I don't want to see ranged or mana spell power, so we can customize that, right? And then, you know, gather mate, just to gather add-on. Item rack is for weapon sets, so I can swap different sets of gear in game. I use this quite a bit on my hunter, and I'll use it for pretty much every class. Kui nameplates is my enemy nameplates, so the nameplates we see on the enemy when I select them is Kui. Leatrix maps is just the map add-on. I just like Leatrix because, you know, I can move the map around and you know, you can scale it. I'm trying to remember how to scale it. Maybe you can't scale it. I'm probably doing something wrong. You can zoom. That's normal. You should be able to scale it. I'm not sure why it's not scaling. But you can move it. It's got some filters up here, so you can jump to different things. I like it. It's just pretty basic, but I like it better than the standard map. What else? Mask is what basically stylizes the look of my icons on my action bar. So you see how these buttons here have a slight, like, kind of faded black edge to them. It's almost rounded a little bit. That's mask, because I'm using mask. I'm using a specific mask kind of skin. Basically, it's a skin that you apply to the buttons. And then mixed scrolling battle text is my scrolling battle text. It also uses it for a lot of other stuff. It does my low health warnings. It does stuff like plays different sound effects. Like when I remove my Blessing of Might here, you can hear a sound effect play. And it says your strength fades. That's all set up through mixed scrolling battle text. And when I cast, like if I switch to Blessing of Wisdom, let's go for that. Switch to Blessing of Might. This plays different sounds to show, like, it just lets me know from an audio point of view if, you know, what my blessing is. And then also when my blessing gets down to around 15% before it's going to expire, it'll play a sound to let me know that it's about to expire. I also have a weak aura in conjunction with that will start flashing down here to let me know that, and it'll even have a counter that says, hey, Blessing of Might's going to expire in, like, you know, 15, 14, 13. My talents I'm going for more of a speed. This is more of a single target speed leveling build that I'm doing, and it's kind of not what I normally do. This is it's probably easier if I show you let's see, not that. I'm just trying to see if I have here we go. So this is, let me log out real quick. I don't want to be attacked while I'm talking. Scrap's not as good as I wish it would be. It doesn't sell like white items, but I think you can probably configure it to sell white items. You know, so it's just, but it does sell all the great items, which is good. Yeah, so like normally, like when I level up Protection Paladin, a lot of times what I do is I go for Consecration, like right off the bat. So I go Divine Intellect, I go Seal of Righteousness, and I grab Consecration. Then I usually jump like right over into the protection tree. This is right. Like if I'm going to do like an AoE leveling build, this is a lot of times what I do. Then I go and I get precision, and a lot of times I'll just jump over and do Bennett. Actually, nah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. This is where it gets tough. You either go and get your benediction and your deflection, or you can stay in protection. You're probably better off to stay in protection, especially if you're going to tank dungeons. Because if you're going to take dungeons, obviously you want to get improved Righteous Fury. I mean, right now I'm level 28, and we don't even have improved Righteous Fury yet. But we can go ahead and grab 1 point Guardian's Favor, grab 1 here, then you can go ahead and max out Righteous Fury. Now you're level 33, you've got Righteous Fury, you've got Redoubt. You want to go ahead and grab Shield Specialization. In fact, I would probably get that before Righteous Fury. Because you don't have to have Righteous Fury to tank dungeons, but definitely I would recommend it. But Shield Specialization is really huge. Increase the amount of damage stored by your shield. But right here, when you get to this point, you're like level 36. Now you've got a build that's pretty decent for AoE tanking. It's also good for AoE leveling if you want to level doing some AoE. I'd go ahead and grab... I like to grab quite a bit of talents into Improved Hammer, just simply because a lot of mobs run from the group, run towards the healer, different things like that. Your hammer is a good way to stop them. You just stun them. It's also a great way to pull off heals. Like if you have like 3 mobs hitting you and you're getting low on health, you can stun one of them. That way when you cast your heal, there's only 2 mobs hitting you with pushback as opposed to 3, which makes getting that heal off a lot easier. A lot of people, there's so many different things you can do with Paladin. Like a lot of people will push Spiritual Focus. Like they may say, well, if I'm going to do an AoE leveling build and I know I'm going to pull a lot of mobs, I may do something like this. I may go Spiritual Focus just because it's 70% reduced pushback, and then you throw up your aura, your concentration aura in tandem with Spiritual Focus, and then your chance to get pushback is reduced to 0. So then you know that you can throw in like a Holy Light whenever you want, and you're not going to take any pushback. I don't do that because I feel like I know the Paladin just too well. Like I know how many mobs I can handle when I pull, so I hardly ever pull too many. And if I get to the point where I do pull too many, I just bubble. I mean, honestly, I'll just bubble, heal. There's things you can do, use a healing potion or something. So I'm not a big proponent of the Spiritual Focus, but a lot of people do use that. I just don't. You'll see a lot of people say, oh, get Spiritual Focus. I don't do that. I typically, like I said, I like to go into Improved Seal. Increases the damage of my seal. So I just, increases the damage done by Seal Righteous. And so it's just an increase on my threat as well when I'm tanking, because I'm going to be doing more damage. It's not a lot, but 50% more is more threat. So as opposed to if you grab this, you're not getting any more threat from Spiritual Focus. But my leveling build, what I'm doing right now is what I like to call kind of a speed. It's kind of a speed leveling build, even though I'm not like a speed leveler per se. But I'm just going here, I'm going Deflection, and I'm going to go Seal of Command. So Seal of Command is going to be your biggest damage increase if you just want to kill mobs quickly. If you're looking for time to kill, TTK, like if you're looking for a lower TTK, then Seal Command's the way to go. And then from here, I'm probably going to go into the Protection Tree to get my hit rating, right? Get my hit rating, right? I'm going to go get Redoubt. I'm going to get Precision. Then here's where the first decision is tricky. Like I think, what did I go with? This is the build that I ended up with at level 40, which at level 40, I probably will respec into my AoE build. So this is just a build I'm going to run to get to 40 because it's going to help me get to 40 faster. Now, take in mind, this is only if I'm not tanking, because this is not a tanking build. If I was going to tank dungeons, I would do a different build. But if you're not going to tank, this is a good build just for leveling, for speed. So the question, though, when I get to this point, I'm level 28, do I want to stay in the Protection Tree, or do I want to go back and grab Conviction? Because obviously crit rating is huge. Or do you want to just go ahead and try to grab Shield Specialization first? And just from damage mitigation, I would probably recommend, at this point, after you got Precision, just go ahead and... Whoops, I'm on the wrong one. I would probably just say go ahead and grab Conviction. Probably. I think it's because you're going to do more damage. Grab Crit. Then go back here, grab 1 point to Toughness, grab 1 point to Guardian's Favor, 1 point to Toughness, and grab your Shield Specialization, right? And now you're at level 38. At this point, you're getting pretty close to where I will respec. So, one more thing I forgot. Sorry, let me take this out. I forgot something. We're gonna go with Improved Retribution Aura. Well, actually, this brings up a really good point, because if we're not really AoE leveling, then Improved Retribution Aura isn't, because that's more like, it's nice when you have a lot of people hitting you, So I would say it's really a tough call. You know, the thing with the protection valve is there's so many variations. You have to really drill down to what are you trying to do. Are you trying to kill single target mobs quickly, or are you trying to pull like 3-4 mobs and AoE them down? You know, it really comes down to those types of decisions. But oh, a second, my phone's beeping at me. Hold on. All right. I was going to grab Improved Retribution Aura with this build, but now I'm kind of thinking about it because at this point I'm not really hitting a lot of mobs at once, but we could. Yeah, we'll grab it. So we're going to go into this tree. We're going to grab... Let's back out of this. So we're going to have Seal Command. We're going to get Redoubt. We're going to get Precision. Then we got to think. We're level 28. What are we going to be doing at level 28, right? I think at this point, at level 28, think about where you're going to be in the world. Where are you going to be leveling? What are you going to be doing, right? You know, 28, we're probably going to be like maybe in like Darkshire. And so I think really crit's going to be the best way to go. I would go crit, improve Ret Aura. Then I would come back here. I'd grab Guardian's Favor. I'd grab Toughness. I'd grab Shield Specialization. And here at level... So this is really the choice is, do you want to get Retribution Aura for your damage, or do you want to go with mitigating damage with Shield Specialization? It depends on how you want to prioritize these two abilities. Do you want to go for more mitigation, or do you want to push more damage? That's really the question. I'm going to try pushing damage with this build. Again, once I reach level 40, though, I am going to respec, right? I'm going to respec at 40. And so at 40, we're going to go with more of an AoE leveling build, and also a build that will probably be conducive to also tanking. So we're going to reset. We're going to go back into here. Actually, we're probably not even going to have this. We're going to go. We're going to go here, here. We're going to go basically with my plain Jane AoE build. So what would I be at level 40? So let's say if I respec at 40, what would I be? Okay, here's 39, 40, 41. So if 41 actually would be a good time to respec because we can get Blessing of Sanctuary. So at this point, once you have Improved Righteous Fury, once you have Shield Specialization, you got Consecrate, and you've got Blessing of Sanctuary, those are really key to tanking. Like for me, like if I'm going to tank on a Paladin, those are the kind of the earliest things that I would like to have, you know, things that are going to make me tank fairly well. So yeah, at this point, I think you're pretty good. You've got your Improved Righteous Fury, you've got your Blessing of Sanctuary, and we're really gearing up for Zulfar, because the first dungeon I like to tank when I'm leveling on a Protection Paladin is ZF, because ZF is super easy. It's a lot of XP. We can tank ZF from like level 44, 45, all the way to 50. I mean, we can. The only problem with these servers is you can only run a dungeon once a day, which is kind of cool actually. But you know, if it wasn't for that, you'd be running ZF over and over again, I think. But yeah, so this is going to be 41. I like Reckoning. A lot of people don't. I do. I'm going to go Reckoning. I'm going to go One-Handed Weapon Specialization. Again, Holy Shield is... The thing with Holy Shield is it's a huge mana. It uses a ton of mana. And you'll see people that'll tell you maybe not even to get Holy Shield if you're doing like an AoE build, just because of how much mana it uses. But the thing with Holy Shield that's really good is when you... Because you don't really have to use Holy Shield a lot. Like if I pull 10 mobs, I'm not using Holy Shield that much, right? When you proc Redoubt is the only time you would ever really use Holy Shield, because it only gives you a chance to block by 30% additional. So you want to be able to use all the charges, or you've wasted all the mana that it costs to use that ability. So when you proc Redoubt, that's when you're going to use Holy Shield, but you don't have to do it every time. Like maybe in the beginning of a fight, drop your highest level Consecrate on 8 mobs, you're burning them down. When they get down to like, maybe there's 4 mobs left, and it really comes down to your health pool. The cool thing about Protection Paladin is you really are always managing your health and your mana, health and mana, health and mana. Like how much health do I have, how much mana do I have? Do I need more mana? Do I need more health? You know, do I need to judge Seal of Light? Do I need to judge Seal of Wisdom? Honestly, I rarely judge Seal of Wisdom, to be honest. It's pretty rare. Because, I know how to play Prot in a way that I know how many mobs I can handle. But someone who doesn't play Prot a lot isn't going to know that. And so they're going to be judging Seal of Wisdom a lot more, because they're going to be in a situation where there's 3 mobs on them, their health's low, and they don't have any mana. So they've got to get Wisdom off so they can get some mana, so then they can heal themselves, right? But anyways, there's so much to it. It'll be a lot easier when I'm like level 50 and I'm doing some AoE, like, and I can explain it to you and kind of show you how the pulls go, and And when I can actually demonstrate it, it'll make more sense. But anyway, so here's like level 51, and then we're going to go ahead and grab Benediction. We're going to grab 2 points here. We're level 58, and we're going to finish out with toughness 4. So this is pretty much my 60 tanking build. Like if I'm going to tank at 60, this is pretty much it, right? This is also a really good AoE build, but if you know you're not going to tank, what you can do is pull these 3 points out of Righteous Fury and put them into Deflection. Like if you're just going to be out in the world and you're just grinding for gold and loot and items and you're pulling big pulls and you know you're not going to tank dungeons, then you can take these 3 points out of Improved Righteous Fury, put them into Deflection, and just go nuts. You know what I mean? Go nuts. Go do some big pulls. Anyways, my groceries I think are almost here. I don't know what's going on. Let me see. Oh, she's almost in my apartment. My Coca-Cola Classic is almost here. My Mexican Cokes are almost here. I'm really thirsty. I gotta have my Cokes, man. That's why my name's Caffeine Injected, because I like to drink my caffeine. So, anyway, so yeah, so the talents. Let me show you the talents. I mean, obviously, I showed you where I'm kind of going with my talents, but the current talents I have are, of course, in Retribution. 5 out of 5 on Benediction, Deflection, because we're rushing again. Seal of Command. Right, we're going to go Seal of Command. Then we're going to go into the protection tree. We're going to grab Redoubt. We're going to get hit rating. Once we get hit rating, we're going to jump right back into Ret. We're going to get our crit, and we're going to get probably our improved Retribution aura. Then we're going to jump back into here. We're going to get 1 point in Guardian's Favor, 1 point in Toughness, and then we're going to grab Shield Specialization. The only thing we could possibly do differently is if we want to stay in this tree and go ahead and get Conviction first. Keep in mind, if you are going for leveling speed, grabbing Seal of Command and grabbing 5 out of 5 on Conviction is going to be your fastest increase to your time to kill. I mean, killing mobs, you're going to kill them way faster. Like every percentage of crit is a big deal in World of Warcraft. It's a big deal, so... I don't need no pillagers. It's alright, we'll kill them anyway. What do we need? I think we still need some highwaymen. Oh, are we done with this quest? No, we need the knuckle dusters. Yeah, and here they are. 1, 2. As a little prairie dog runs by. Alright, I'm taking off my hoodie. It's getting too warm in here. And why is my RSA launcher open? Alright, that quest is done. We're gonna keep killing though. We need experience. Let's just keep grinding these guys out a little bit. But the cool thing about Protection Paladin is there is a lot, there's a lot of variety. If you go onto YouTube or if you go onto the web and you just do Google searches for like AoE Protection Paladin leveling or AoE Protection Paladin tanking, you're going to get, every guide you watch is going to have slight variations. They're all going to have slight variations. Everybody has their kind of, like I said, everybody has their own preference. Some people like grabbing Spiritual Focus, some people don't. Some people like grabbing 2 odd points in Improved Judgment. Some people don't. Some people don't like to grab Improved Judgment. I've seen guys that say that Improved Judgment is a completely waste of time. But I think the thing you want to consider is if you're tanking, what are the things that are going to increase your threat? That's why I'm a big fan of Improved Seal of Righteousness over Spiritual Focus, because I'm increasing my threat. I'm doing more damage. More damage equals more threat. So That's why I think spiritual focus is kind of stupid. But again, that's for somebody. A lot of people that do that are because they're worried about dying when they do big pulls, AOE pulls. They're worried about dying. And my counterpoint to that is if you're skilled enough with the class, you're not going to die. If you're skilled enough and you understand what you're doing, you won't put yourself in that situation where you're going to die. If you're over pulling, getting situations where you're dying, I think that's really on you. That's like that's you just needing to learn the game. Like, you need to learn how to play. You need to learn like what can you handle. The other thing is put yourself in situations where you have to handle multiple mobs. Don't always just kill one mob at a time. Like, you'll see me like, let's pull like 2, right? Here we got 1, right? Let's see if we can grab this. Yeah, we got 2. Get 2 of mobs that are like, you know, and just figure out how am I going to mitigate the damage. You know, your best thing normally is to hodge one of them and focus down the other, right? Especially if one of them is a caster. If one was a caster, you would hodge the caster. You would prioritize interrupting his spell casting, and don't hodge him until he casts, right? The other thing you can do on casters is you can just LOS them. If you know you have an LOS point, when they start doing their cast, just run around an LOS point, make them restart their cast. Like I play a little game of tag with them inside the town here, while I run around the corners. I'll like hit a pillager, I'll run around the corner, he stops his cast, he runs over here, I'll hit him, he starts his cast, I run around the corner, he runs around here, I hit him in the face, he starts his cast, I run back around, you know what I mean? I'll just run back and forth, you know, because he can't get a cast off, you know? Yeah, these low-level chests are usually garbage, but maybe there'll be some wool cloth. Wool cloth would be useful. Yeah, all this other stuff. Oh, actually, the light hide is useful since I'm actually going to go leather working, believe it or not. All right, let me check my grocery delivery. It should be almost at my door here. And it is. Yeah, no problem. I know it's kind of confusing. There's a lot of choices to make, and like I said, it really comes down to what are you trying to accomplish. Do you want to take dungeons? Because if you want to take dungeons, there's definitely going to be some things you want to get. You know, obviously, if you're going to take dungeons, you have to have a pre-registry and you have to have Blessing and Sanctuary. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but you should. You know. I would recommend Benediction 5 out of 5 if you're going to take dungeons for sure, and I would recommend putting some points into deflection. Keep in mind that deflection is a threat increase as well, because when you deflect, when you parry an attack, there's something in the game that's called parry haste, and what that means is that when you parry attack, your next attack after the parry comes out a little bit faster. You know, it kind of comes out quicker. So it's almost like a hasted attack. You know, it's like you gained a little bit of haste. So deflection in its own little weird way actually increases your damage, which again, what does that do? More damage equals more threat. So deflection does in essence increase your threat. Okay, I have to take a quick AFK because my grocery delivery just got here and I'm gonna make myself a drink. So I will be back in like 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Because I gotta put the groceries away and pour myself a Mexican Coca-Cola. Yeah, I've got a level 51 melee hunter, and I'm probably gonna play the Paladin. I don't know, I'll probably play the Paladin for like 2 or 3 more hours. And then I might do a stream today after that of my level 51 melee hunter. Because I want to get this character to 60. She's currently level 51. Yeah, I only drink Coke out of I only drink glass bottles. I'm a Coca-Cola snob. I won't drink Coke out of cans or plastic. Tastes like garbage. Plus, the Mexican Coke is made with cane sugar as opposed to corn syrup or whatever they use. So it's actually believe it or not, it's healthier for you. That type of sugar is not as bad for you as the sugar they put in in the other Coke. So anyway, I'll be back. Like I said, I'll be back in a minute, in about 5 to 8 minutes.
We were warm and wonderful. Snowflakes are falling in Dunmurrow. Torrens and Mogor all dressed like gnomes. From Barrens to Elwyn to Silver Pine, there's just one thing on our minds. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths. 'Cause it won't feel like Christmas without fresh. Buffing each other with mistletoe. Gingerbread cookies with milk that's ice cold. And Stormwind is covered in Christmas lights. This is the game of our time. And every zone is packed with players all dinging. Just watching all that old vanilla singing. Azeroth is filled with holiday cheer. Christmas in Westfall this year. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths. 'Cause it won't feel like Christmas without fresh. With every zone, with every quest, I hope you'll make it with no deaths. 'Cause baby, it's that classic hardcore Christmas fresh.
All right. We are back. Ooh, ice cold Coca-Cola. Ooh. My hands are freezing. I was digging into the bag of ice in the freezer, pulled out chunks of ice to throw in my Yeti cup here, and man, about froze my hands off. Alright, so we got this quest done. We'll turn this quest in. I think we could start doing some of the Darkshire quests, or we could go back to Darkshore and knock out some of the ones that we haven't completed there. The Darkshore quests are easier, but it's the travel time there is what kind of sucks, so probably won't do that. You just started a new Paladin? Alright. I told you, you gotta get up on the horse again. We do have some. We have a quest in Lakeshire, Ridge, yeah. Let me take a quick. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna blow my nose real quick. Just give me 1 second. My nose is running. It's so cold in here, man. And we're back. All right, let's turn this quest in, and I think we'll just do the stupid, travel. I hate doing them, but, go to Stormwind, go to Lakeshire, go back to West. We're just going to do the go here, go there quests, which are annoying as hell, by the way, but...
Well met.
I'll grab, I guess, the two-hand sword, just because we'll probably end up vendoring it anyway. Okay. Looks like we're about 55% through this level.
Good day to you.
Go to Stormwind.
Safe travel.
Turn in this quest here, and then we're going to go to Red Ridge so we can turn this quest in. And then we might do we can do the necklace quest, and we can probably do the Encroaching Knolls quest. And then after that, we could go into Duskwood, and there's the eight-legged menace quest we could do if we wanted to. We're a little bit under-leveled for that, but we could do that. And then the Wolves at Our Heels quest we could do, although, like I said, we're a little bit under-leveled. Or we can go to the wetlands and we can start doing the Murloc quest line, which is around here somewhere. I don't know why I don't see it on here, but it should be there. I think we should probably once we hit 20, we probably should do the Wolves at Our Heels quest line, because that's a pretty easy way to get to, especially since I'm a leatherworker. I'm actually going totally meme on this one. I'm actually going dragon scale leatherworking just for the shits and giggles, which is completely not what you should do. Don't follow me. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm actually doing it for the fantasy aspect of it, and because it seems like very, very, very few people are doing dragon scale leatherworking on the server, so I'm thinking I should be able to make a little bit of money off the dragon scales. So they're selling for a decent amount of gold, you know. So the sooner we get to 60, the better. The problem, once I start loving the Paladin, I don't want to stop. Like, I've got the 5100. It's very difficult for me to like shift gears right now, because I love Paladins. They're like my favorite class in vanilla. But with the Hunter being my second favorite, and I would say Priest and Rogue come in, you know, after no, I'd say Warrior. I would say in order, I'd say Paladin's my favorite, then Hunter, then Warrior, then probably Priest, and Rogue are kind of a tie. And those are the only ones I really play. Other classes I just like. Mage, I'm not really a big fan. Mages are okay, but it's just not my play style. I like to get in people's faces and kind of hit them in the face usually. Probably why I play a melee hunter over a regular hunter, because I like to be in people's faces, smacking them. And because regular range hunter is just too easy. It's like so easy, it's boring. It's like, shoot a few arrows, send my pet. It's like a snooze fest.
You need something? Have a good one.
You are now honored with Stormwind. Honored. Arnold Schwarzenegger. You are now Arnold with Stormwind. Oh, he's self-found, see? You know, the one thing it says never known defeat. If you create your character as self-found, which is what I did on my hunter, and then I got to the point where I was like, I didn't want to do self-found anymore. The only reason I didn't want it wasn't gear related. It was inventory related. Like, I couldn't like mail items to an alt as self-found, which meant I was just vendoring like so many like greens. So I was losing out on like so much money, and I was like, I just couldn't. After a certain point, I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, man, I'm just throwing all this money away. So when I was like level, I think like 35 or 36, I switched my hunter to be non-self-found, just a regular hardcore. But you actually keep the buff. There's actually a buff that says never known defeat. You actually keep that. So so I kind of almost wish I would have created this Paladin as self-found and then dropped the self-found just so I could keep the cool little buff that says never known defeat. Like, see if I log into my hunter. There it is, right there. See, Soul of Iron, hardcore, never known defeat. I don't know why, like you don't have that on your on a regular hardcore character, because it's the same thing. You've never known defeat. I'll have to go. Maybe we have to go talk to the guy in Ironforge, or what, you know. Can I pick that up on Hurricane? How do I do it? It's Ironforge thing. That's what I was just saying. I just said that in Rock. I said maybe I could just go to Ironforge and get it. I want to go get that buff because it looks cool. We're going to grab that. Thanks, Narok. We're definitely going to grab that. Alright, we're just going to have to walk all the way to Red Ridge. So, thank God for auto run, right? Yeah, no, I knew he was in the Hall of Explorers. And I remember when they added that, like they added that to the servers, like when they first did Hardcore Official. I'm not sure if that even existed in the first iteration. Maybe it did, I can't remember. At some point they added it. That's what I was just saying. Right before you posted in chat, I said, maybe I can go to Ironforge and get it, you know. Because I remember having that on Hardcore characters before they did Self-Found. Self-Found was not in the game initially. But yeah, the only reason I took my Hunter off Self-Found was because I got sick of like vendoring greens. I even was getting blue item. I even got a few blue drops. And it's like I didn't need him, but I couldn't like... It felt so wrong, like, that I couldn't just mail him off to my banker, you know? And let her sell him. So that's why and since it was my first character, I would say... that would be my recommendation. If you play on the hardcore servers, and you know you're going to level up multiple characters, I would not recommend your first one be Self-Found. Just simply because you're going to lose out on money. You know, you're going to end up vendoring so many greens, unless you're like an enchanter. Like, if you're an enchanter, that's fine, then you could do it, because you could just DE everything. But if you're not an enchanter, I wouldn't really recommend it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just because you can make so much money, like it's so easy to just make money by just selling stuff on the auction house. I make 5-10 gold a day probably just selling shit on the auction house. I'm not really going to tell you what professions to use. I mean, I can tell you what, like, to me, if you're going for survivability and you don't want to die, I think alchemy and engineering. Personally, I think alchemy is better than engineering. I think target dummies are a little bit overrated. I mean, they're definitely great. They definitely can save your life, but alchemy is really useful because you're always going to have... it's going to give you all those extra buffs that are really useful. I mean, extra life, extra health regen, extra strength, extra intellect. But the target dummy is incredibly powerful, and I have leveled up a warrior to 60 back in the community hardcore. Before Blizzard released official hardcore servers, I leveled up a human warrior to 60, and actually the target dummy saved her life. There was one point in Loch Modan when I was killing those trogs by that excavation site, and I remember I was kind of going up a hill in that excavation site, and on top of the hill, which I didn't see because I typically play with my camera zoomed in like this, on top of the hill way up above me was 2 troglodytes, and I kind of got close to the edge of that hill, and the 2 came running down, and I was dead. I mean, I was totally dead. There was no way I was going to survive that. And I think I was like level, like 20 or something. And I dropped a target dummy, and it definitely saved my life. So I can definitely say that target dummies can save your life. But you got to remember, make sure you know how to use them correctly. It takes a second for the target dummy to deploy. So if you're running away from a mob, don't drop it at your feet. Make sure you drop it. Like if you're running away from a mob and there's a mob, like let's say I'm here at this post and the mob's at the beginning of this fence, like right here. You would want to drop your target dummy like ahead of you, like up as far ahead of you as you could. That way it drops, has a chance to deploy, because it's not going to get threat until it deploys, and there's a delay. So make sure you drop it ahead of you, and give it a chance to come out, and then it'll threat. So yeah, I would say engineering. I mean, if you're looking for survivability, and also if you're going to try to optimize your paladin for tanking, engineering is the way to go, because having the additional threat from explosions and just being able to range pull with dynamite and copper bombs and stuff like that is, engineering is going to be the way to go. So again, if you're going to tank and you want to optimize tanking, I would say engineering. If you're looking for survivability, target dummy is certainly a great way to go. So I'm a big fan of alchemy. I like alchemy. I think alchemy has a lot of good benefits. But yeah, Narok's right though. I mean, the bombs are going to be great for range pulling. You can also, the quest to kill Morbent Fell in Duskwood? gives you an item that you have to equip that you use on Orbit Fell to weaken him. That item is a range item, and that can be used on regular mobs. So it's like some sort of like holy torch or something. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Don't throw that away. Keep that, and then create a macro to weapon swap into that, and you can actually use that as a way to pull, as a range pull on your paladin. Now it does have a cooldown of like, I don't know, it's like a 2-minute cooldown or something. I don't know, or maybe a minute. But you could use it almost every other pull to just swap to that, use it to range pull, and then swap back to your regular gear. Just a little nifty tidbit. I think it's probably like 20 or 30 yards. I think it's like 20 or 30 yards. I haven't tested it recently. We'll get it on this character and see how far it is. Another thing you can do too, if you want, is if you don't have engineering, is you can farm the. We can do it here too. Just farm the guys over here by the cave here. This cave. It's not showing me the name of it. You guys know which cave? This cave right here. If you kill these what are they called? The little take candle guys. If you kill these guys, they drop the holy candles, and the holy candles are also can be used for range pulling. So, and they drop them fairly frequently. I mean, not like super frequently. They're the kobolds. Thank you. Kill these kobolds here, and if you're not engineering, and you can get yourself some holy candles, and you can also use those as a way to do range pulls on your paladin for tanking.
Light be with you for the Alliance.
And of course, there's always like dynamite that you can, there's always the non-engineering required dynamite that you could purchase if you wanted to, just for range pulls as well. The easy throw dynamite or whatever it's called.
What can I do for you? Light bless you.
What can I do for you? Hey Kevin, how you doing? Let it play, let it ride. All the way over there, the glinting mud. Let's get ourselves some glinting mud.
Can I help you? Be careful. Need help? Good day to you. See you later. You need something?
What can I do for you? Can I help you? See you later. How are you? See you around.
Don't know if any of these quests I want to pick up, but I'll run in here anyway. Yeah, this one. This one we need.
Greetings. Be careful.
This one, we don't need this one yet.
I buy and trade.
Just doing a quick
Greetings.
gear repair. Price of shoes, we need to do that.
Hello. See you later.
Menace. There he is, that fucker. That guy killed me in hardcore once, about 3 years ago. Squidditch, that bastard. That's the guy I was, if you guys were watching me, I was moving my camera around, that's who I was looking for. He actually does good damage. Bastard. Always be wary of him. He killed one of my characters. That was, what happened was I was underwater fighting a Murloc, and he spawned behind me. Spawned behind me and aggroed to me, and he was behind my view, so I couldn't see him. And I just thought it was another Murloc, and he came up behind me, and all of a sudden he hit me like 2 times, and I was like, holy crap, my health was just like, was like disappearing quick. And then what happened was I got rooted, I got netted. So... Oh, yes. I love being a skinner, man. I picked skinning on this character for a couple reasons. One, because I just wanted something that was an easy moneymaker. And two, I wanted to go totally meme on this character and go with dragon scale leatherworking. One, because I love skinning dragonkin and getting scales. I just think it's fun. I don't know, I'm weird that way. But also because there's, like I said earlier, there's not really anybody... I don't think there's too many dragon scale leatherworkers on the server, because it's probably one of the weakest professions. It just isn't a very good profession. It really isn't. I mean, some of the best gear that's made from dragon scale is probably for shamans, and there's no shamans on the Alliance, so... But, you know what? I grabbed it anyway. I did not relish the thought of doing mining again, because mining just drives me batty. And I've already got alchemy on my hunter. My hunter's already a high-level alchemist, so... And I don't really think that blacksmithing is that... I mean, the only thing that's useful with blacksmithing is the sharpening stones and stuff. The gear, you know, until you get to, like, super high-level gear, isn't super useful. It's not great. If they do make a Classic Plus, which I think they are working on Classic Plus behind the scenes right now, I'm pretty sure they are. I really hope that they focus a lot of their efforts on really, really fleshing out much better crafting. World of Warcraft could really use with almost a complete overhaul of the crafting system. And it doesn't have to be like super complicated, but you know, go down the path of something like, you know, Guild Wars 2, you know, even Terra's crafting in the initial like vanilla Terra, Ion crafting. There's so many different. I don't want to get this other one. We're gonna run back. You know, some sort of crafting system where there's multiple steps to the creation, not just like, oh, skin something, get the leather and craft something. You know, I would like to see where you have to like skin. Even like New World has a better crafting system. I mean, almost any MMO has a better crafting system than WoW. I mean, really. You know, Final Fantasy's crafting system is really good. How you have different gear that you can get. You can equip like a set of crafting gear, which I know they have that in retail now, but that was completely stole from Final Fantasy, which Final Fantasy's had that forever. You know, Blizzard with Dragonflight, basically what they did was they tried to look at other MMOs and steal stuff that they thought would make the game better. BDO's got great life skills. I love BDO, and I play BDO a lot. So, you know, building a boat, for example, in BDO. Oh my God. So in BDO, you've got to like hire workers, and then the workers can go gather like different materials that you might need. And then you have the node system. So in BDO, there might be like a major town where you have your housing for your workers, and you have to like put talent points into, or not talent points, but skill points, or whatever they're called, into those locations so that your workers have a place to sleep, and then that's their home base, and then they go out to different nodes, and you've got to put your points into the nodes. What are the points called, Pudgy, again? They're called, they're not skill points, what are they called? I can't remember what the points are called, but you have a certain amount of points. Think of them almost like activity points. No, the points you acquire, like when you go to a node, you have to put points into the node so that it's activated. Like if you want to go through multiple nodes, like from put node to like, oh man, this is so much easier if I was actually in Black Desert Online.
Help? Go with honor, friend.
So like, let's see. Contribution points. Yep, that's it. CP. So like in Black Desert Online, right? Let's say I wanted to craft a sailboat, right? In Black Desert Online. I'm gonna go over this really quick. It's because Black Desert Online is really intricate. And I just had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and he wasn't really keen on Black Desert Online's crafting, and but I actually kind of like it, especially gardening. Like I love gardening in Black Desert Online, where you're raising like crops. It's actually really good. It's really good. But let's say there's a major city, and this is a major city, and inside this major city you have these houses, right? These are houses. And then you've got these different nodes. And the nodes, when you go in the Black Desert Online map, you can turn nodes on and off. And it just shows up these little locations in the map. And so let's say your home base is here, and you've got your warehouse here where you store all your goods in your warehouse. And you've got these little housing buildings. So you rent some workers, and you buy some housing storage. You have to use your contribution points. Let's say you have 100 contribution points. Let's say you want to like over here there's a mine, right? Over here we've got a mine, and that's a pickaxe. And these are little rocky outcroppings, right? This is rocks, right? Looks like fireballs. I don't know. So let's say there's a node here. And let's say close to this node, there's a little mine. And you want to send your workers to go mine. So what you've got to do is you've got to set up your warehouse here. You've got to rent the workers. You've got to buy some housing storage for them, some place for them to sleep. Then you have to put a contribution points into that house. So maybe you put in 2 points of contribution into the house to get a room for your worker. Then you want to connect this city to this node. Okay, so you go to this node and you apply 1 to 2 points. They vary. Let's say this is 1 point. Then you want to connect it to this node because next to this node is where they're going to mine the ore. So then you assign two contribution points. So now you've assigned, like, let's say this was 1 contribution point, right? So you've assigned 5 of your 100. Now you're down to 95 contribution points. So now your workers are going to go down this path. They're going to, and they do it by themselves. You know, once you tell them to do that, you say, hey, go here and mine, right? And then they just go along their merry way. And they do it. But when you bring up the map, you can see them. You can actually see the miner standing. You can see your little miner standing here, walking down the road towards the mine. You can actually see him moving on the map. You can physically see him moving, which is cool. So you send him to mine. And then let's say you need lumber. So now you go grab this point, and then you grab this point. Because guess what? There's a big forest over here, right? You've got your big forest. These are really badly drawn trees, right? And so you send one worker over here. So you put in another 2 contribution points here, 2 contribution points here. And you've got another dude who's going over here, and he's going to get lumber. And so they're going to go fill up, and then they're just going to come back, and they're going to drop off their ore and their lumber into your warehouse. And they'll just do that until they run out of energy. Remember, these guys only have so much energy. So then you've got to replenish their energy to keep them going. And then they even skill, they're like level 1. They even, like, after doing this over and over, they get skill and they level up and they get more efficient. And there's a lot more to it than that, because then once you get your lumber and your ore, then you've got to process it. So now I go to town, I've got to get this ore out and I've got to process it. Maybe I need to make iron bars. Maybe I need to make wooden planks for my sailboat, because the bottom of the ship's made out of wooden planks. So I need wooden planks. I need ore. So as a character, you can process ore, but for wooden planks, you've got to get another building in town which actually processes wood, like a mill, like a sawmill or something. So then you got to put contribution points into the sawmill, right? Now you're putting contribution points into the sawmill. So you get the wood, then you got to go to the sawmill, and you've got to tell your workers or whatever to build planks. So as you can see, it becomes very involved pretty quickly. And the first time I made a sailboat in Black Desert Online, or first time I made a boat in Black Desert Online, it took me about a week to 2 weeks to do it, like of real world time. This wasn't like, it wasn't like in WoW, we go to the auction house and buy some leather and craft an item. You know what I mean? Or go out and skin something and craft an item. I mean, there's a serious amount of effort involved. So I think, to me, Black Desert Online is kind of more on the extreme end of crafting, because it is pretty involved. It's easy. Once you know how to do it, it's quite easy. It's not difficult at all, really, once you understand it. And it doesn't take long to figure it out. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube that explain you how to do this. But I would like to see World of Warcraft Classic Plus come out with something in between. Something not quite this involved, but something a lot better than what we have right now. What we have right now in WoW is pretty crappy. I think everybody would agree that crafting in World of Warcraft right now in vanilla is really basic. It's very, very basic. Yeah, it takes days getting the wood and then getting the planks built, and it just, you got to buy. It takes time. It's very time consuming. All right, so what do I need to do? We need to kill some mongrels. Let's just kill everything we see. How about that? That always works for me. Slay them all. Yeah, I mean, you get better. You get better at woodcutting. Your workers get better. They rank up in level. I mean, you definitely skill up, Kushi, sure. Also processing is, yeah, processing. Everything takes time. Like I said, it took a couple weeks. To make my first boat in Black Desert took me a couple weeks probably. But there's great videos on that now, and you go to Evil Do Us Harm. Oops, sorry. Go to YouTube and pull up Evil Do Us Harm, and go up to his channel, and then just do a search for crafting. Shipbuilding. I don't know if he's got one for shipbuilding. back to the workshop guide, making boats, crates, armors, and more. And then go to this guy's channel if you ever want to. I like Evil Duelist Harm's videos for just learning how to do different things if you're ever interested in that. So check out Evil Duelist Harm, he's really good. You're level 16 in our Prop Pally Hardcore. Cool. Hey, what's up, Kushi? I kind of went over it earlier. I mean, I can go over it again, but the thing is, this is more of a kind of a speed. This is more of like, because there's a lot of different ways to level. Like, this is build that I'm going to run probably like around level 40, and then I'm going to respec at 40. So this build is basically more of a retribution build in the beginning to just kind of get our TTK, our time to kill on individual targets, our single target DPS up there, so we can kind of blast through these early quests pretty quick. And then once we get to around level 40, we'll respec into more of an AoE kind of AoE like tanking, grinding build, which we'll use to run some dungeons and just to AoE level from 40 to 60. Unless I get bored with this build, which is quite possible, and if I get bored with this build, we'll respec earlier into the AoE build. Normally when I level in vanilla, I go straight into Consecration right off the bat. I go 5 points in Intellect, I go 5 into Improved Seal, and I grab Consecration. Normally that's what I do. Hey, thanks for the sub. Normally that's appreciated, man. Normally that's what I do because I love AoE leveling, and AoE leveling is really fun. You can even do it as early as 20. You really can if you have good gear. Especially if you can get some stamina chance on your gear to push your health pool up, you can easily pull 2 to 3 mobs over and over again and level fairly quickly. It's not going to be as fast as doing dungeons as doing quests, but it's still not bad. But anyways, having said that, what I'm doing is going for more of a DPS build, is just for like I said, knocking through these quests as fast as possible. So right now, Benediction 5 of 5, Deflection 5 of 5. So right now we're level 19. As soon as we hit 20, we're going to grab Seal of Command. Once we get Seal of Command, we're going to jump over, we're going to grab Redoubt, and then we're going to push into Precision. Actually, I take that back. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to grab Seal of Command, then we're going to go ahead and grab Conviction 5 out of 5. So we're going with more of a straight, almost Retribution kind of build. I mean, this is more red, but we are going with Deflection. We're going to grab Conviction, and then we're going to grab Redoubt, and then we're going to grab Hit Rating. And then we're going to grab 1 point into Guardian's Favor, 1 point to Toughness, and then we're going to push Shield Specialization. Because even though this is kind of a rep build, we're still going to be using Sword and Board most of the time. You should always have a 2-hand weapon so you can weapon swap. You should always weapon swap. Get yourself item rack, set up some different sets, or just create some macros. But yeah, I do Sword and Shield most of the way. I do Sword and Shield most of the way. I don't like 2-hand weapons. I don't like waiting like 3.5 seconds to swing and then miss. I just find it punishing and boring as fuck. So, but I do always try to have a 2-hand weapon with me because there are certain, like when you're hitting like a high armor target that, like if you're going up against a bear, for example, let's say you're fighting a bear, just a straight up bear, and you just want to kill the bear pretty quick. I would go with a 2-hand weapon. Just simply because their armor's so high that Sword and Board, it takes a little bit longer. So certain targets that are high armor targets, I think a 2-hand weapon's nice. I never go Pursuit of Justice, never. I never take it. I'm really weird that way. I don't really level for speed as far as min-maxing. Like if you're going for pure speed, you could go Pursuit of Justice. I hate Pursuit of Justice because I don't care how long it takes me to get somewhere. I would rather use those points on something that's more impactful to my performance of my character in a fight, right? And Pursuit of Justice has no impact on the performance of my character in a actual combat situation, right? I don't care about, I got to the dungeon, 1 minute quicker. I just don't care. Or my mount's faster. I ran from one side of a zone to the other, 5 minutes quicker. I really don't care. I don't care. I more care about the performance of my character in combat situations. So yeah, I never get Pursuit of Justice, but if you want to do that, that's fine. So we're going to go probably with this. Really, the thing I'm struggling with this build is whether or not I want to, after I get Seal Command, if I want to go ahead and get Precision before we get crit. But I think that's not really a good idea because you're 8 levels there where you're missing out on like the crit. And crit is obviously your biggest damage increase. I mean, every point of crit is going to really increase your damage by a little bit, because every time you crit, it's a big deal. It really is. You're with 5 out of 5, you're going to see yourself at level 28 with only a crit rate probably of around, you're still only going to be sitting around like 11% crit, but 11% crit's better than 6% crit. It's a lot better. I like to, thinking about crit rating and Sword and Board, I do like to use a fairly quick weapon. Just especially when I get Seal of Light and I'm trying to proc different seal effects. So I like to use a weapon that's anywhere from 2 to maybe like 1 point to 2.2 speed. Again, because really, if I'm looking for damage with my weapon, then I'll just weapon swap to a two-hand. Like, let's say I'm in a fight and maybe I just want to try to end a fight. The mob's getting low on his health, and I just want to finish the fight. If I swap to a two-hand weapon and judge righteousness, get maybe a big crit or something, we can finish the fight really quickly. But again, and you're going to play around too. It varies with your weapons. Like some levels, depending on what your weapons are. Maybe you've got a really, really, really good two-hand weapon, but you don't have a very good one-hand weapon. In that situation, you might rock the two-hand weapon more than you're going to be rocking your sword and board. But a lot of it also depends on, how many mobs you're taking. So I'm really going back and forth. I like AoE leveling a lot, so there's a really high probability that I'll probably end up respecking. I mean, there's a really high probability I won't follow through and finish this all the way to level 40 just because I'll be sick of not having Consecrate because I'm such a huge fan of Consecration. But for now, what we're going to do is, like I said, we're definitely gonna rush Seal of Command, and then I think we'll do Conviction, and then we'll do Improved Retribution Aura. All right, that'll get us to 26. Then we'll do Redoubt, Precision. We're gonna do Guardian's Favor, 1 Toughness, and then we're gonna go right into Shield Specialization. This is level 39, and then if we want, someone won't wear online, we can throw a point of evasion. Once we get to 41, we're definitely respecking. Because once we get to 41, we can get down to Blessing of Sanctuary. So once we get to 41, we can respec. We can go for Consecration, right? We're going to rush Consecration. Then we're going to go into our Prot tree. We're going to get our hit rating. We're going to get Guardian's Favor 1 point here. Then we're going to go into Shield. And then we're going to go into one more here, one more here. You can probably Blessing of Kings, 36. And what am I missing? I think I've got everything. Oh, okay. Hammer. There, so 41. So this would be like my level 41 respec. I'd respec into this, and now we're into a build it. And actually, you can take a couple points out here if you want to tank. Like if you want to tank, I'm probably going to set up the character to tank ZF anyway. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a couple points out here, go into Improved Righteous Fury, right? 3 out of 3, and there, Holy Shield, and then yeah, you definitely want Righteous Fury if you're going to tank. If you're not going to tank, obviously you don't need it, right? So if you want to tank, we're going to grab Righteous Fury and then grab Blessing Sanctuary. And then I would definitely grab at least 1, if not 2 points into Hammer of Justice. Just because mobs, when they run away, one of the best things you can do if mob runs at your priest or something is just to hodge them. You can try to weapon swap to a two-hand weapon to judge and hope that you get a crit to do enough threat to pull the mob back. But your easiest way to mitigate that, actually there's 2 ways. You can hodge them, you can stun them, or you can bop the priest. Bop's just as good as a taunt almost, because if you bop the priest and it's a melee, they're going to immediately come back to you because they're not going to go towards a target that's got Blessing of Protection. That's another reason why I'm a big fan of putting at the very least 1 point into Guardian's Favor. If you're tanking, you should have at the very minimum 1 point, because reducing the cooldown of bop by 60 seconds is really big. Because if you have got a healer that's not good at managing their threat, or you have a bad group, and they're just spam healing and generating tons of threat, you're gonna be bopping. Or if you've got a rogue who's a complete idiot and is just blowing all his cooldowns and back hitting people and pulling threat, and he's dying, you can save the bastard's life by bopping him. Okay, so at a minimum, I would recommend putting 1 point to Guardian's Favor. And then I like to go Retribution or Reckoning. Some people don't. I'm a big fan of Reckoning, so I would go Reckoning. Then I would go Reckoning for one-hand weapon specialization, grab Holy Shield. At this point, I would get 5 out of 5 here, and then I would go into Benediction, and then 2 points here, and then what am I missing? That's pretty good. And then your last point, I probably would just maybe go Judgment. So that would be kind of like for me, this is a pretty common end game tanking build for AoE tanking. Something I would use in BRD, LBRS, UBRS. This is a pretty decent build for that. If you are doing an AoE build where you're not tanking and you just want to go out and farm, then just drop Righteous Fury and put all those 3 points into Deflection, because Deflection is going to increases your attack speed, and when you parry something, you get a little bit of what's called parry haste. So your next attack is going to come out a little bit quicker. So it actually increases your damage a little bit, but also just getting more deflection if you're not tanking is great because you're mitigating more damage on those big pulls when you're farming. So there's all kinds of different discussions around people using spiritual focus, people not using improved judgment. I've seen guys where people say don't use judgment. I've seen guys where people are like, oh, you gotta have spiritual focus. I mean, really, these are all just personal preference stuff. So, but this is just what I like to do. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. I mean, like, and I said, it varies all the time. It's, you know, the cool thing about Protection Paladin is there's so much variety in the builds. There's so many ways you can go with it. There's no, like, 100% right way to do it. It really comes down to your play style. Like, some people would hate my build, and some people, you know, I mean, some people would try to use the build that I use for tanking, and they might not like it because they don't have Mace Spiritual Focus, or maybe, you know, you know what I mean? It just depends. Ooh, Rib Chaser hit 17 elite. 17 elite. Let's give this a go. Don't attack. Oh, no. I want to get him before he... Go, baby, go! Get him before he aggroes anybody else. You're going down, Rib Chaser. Oh, he's a pushover. He was like the weakest. Ew, he was terrible. He was terrible. So much for that elite. Man, this guy's level 13? What the hell? Mongrel. This is a quest. I'm questing. There's a quest. You have a quest called Assessing the Threat. I need to kill some mongrels and some poachers, I think. Yeah, poachers, mongrels. It's like the beginning quest in Lakeshire. Well, we are almost to level 20, and you know what that means, man. We almost got Seal of Command, which is going to be big for us. I need to get like a better two-hand weapon. So I got 24 gold because my hunter, my 51 hunter, sent me money. So, and set me up with bags. So we need to... Brought you Dark Short 15? You're not using that rested XP bullshit, are you? You're not using that rested XP, are you? Oh my god. Everybody with their damn rested XP guide. I don't agree with that guide at all, so. Dark Short, level 15. Yeah, 15's fine for Dark Shore. I've already done Dark Shore. I haven't done all of it, but I've done a lot of it, right? I've already done most of Dark Shore. I go to Dark Shore usually around level 12, to be honest. Doing Dark Shore 15 is kind of high. Also, if you have fishing though and cooking, obviously that's going to help you because there's 3 fishing quests in Dark Shore and 1 cooking quest, so that's definitely going to help you. No, it's all good. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, there's so many people use this rested XP guide, and I think they pay for it too. I would never pay for something, but I mean, I guess if you were really green and didn't know WoW, you know, at all, I could see it, but. Okay, well, as long as you didn't pay. Don't pay. I think so. I don't know. I've never looked. I haven't looked at it. Rested XP? Yeah, see, yeah, it's free 1 to 20, but after that, I think you have to pay for it. All hardcore survival speedrun living guides, $50. Speedrun Alliance, 25. Ultimate Classic Bundle, jeez. Yeah, no, yeah. I think that one's free 1 to 20, but yeah, I'm not gonna pay for that. I don't even like that. My guide is my brain. My rested XP is my head, is my brain. Well, you can, but you have to know what you're doing. You can AoE at level 20, but no, don't. No, there's nothing wrong. Their guides aren't bad. Their guide's not bad. Their guide's not bad. I'm not, following that rested XP free guide is not a bad thing. If you don't, it's better than if you don't know the game at all. If you don't know the game at all, then yeah, go ahead and follow that. It's going to probably help you. But you can at level 20, but you have to know what you're doing. I wouldn't recommend it to someone who's new to Paladin. I wouldn't recommend you trying to AoE level. Okay, what I'm saying is you can do it, but you need to have some gear. If you go and try to AoE level at 20 and you're sitting on like 600 health, no, it's not going to work. You're going to want to be up around, I would try to be up around 1,000 health, or at least over 800. Like I'm at 867 health, so I would prefer at 20, if you're going to do that, to be closer to 1,000 health. And then you have to be familiar with the mobs you're killing, the zones what are you gonna AoE level in? To me, the best place to AoE level at 20 is Westfall. In Westfall, right here where this battered chest is, there's all these knolls here. This is a great place to AoE level. But again, you have to know what you're doing. You have to understand how to handle casters and how to handle the pulls and how to know when you're in over your head, and all that stuff. So. That was your first and only character. Cool. Thrasher.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah. I level when I hit 50. When I hit 50, I level from 50 to 60 almost entirely in Sorrow Hill. I literally will just sit there from 50 to 60. Whoops. I can't believe that guy told you to go to Dark Shore at 15. That is way too high for Dark Shore. You should be going to Dark Shore at 12. 15 is much too high for Dark Shore. Because the quest you're going to kill, like, there's literally, like... The first quest, you're killing level 10 mobs. The second quest, you're killing, like, maybe level 11 or 12 mobs. There's tons of, like, turtle quests where you're killing... I don't know. I can see why they would say that, but that's not necessary. What's up, Vols? How's it going? Vols, how you doing, man?
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
No, we don't want to die. People in the guild are starting to catch up to my hunter, man. My 51 hunter. Like when I was the other day, like when I stopped playing my hunter to level up this paladin, there was only maybe like there wasn't anybody near me. Like there was like the closest person next to me was like 49. Now there's like a 50, 50, 351s. I'm gonna have to get back on the hunter. Ashes was like, I wish I could. I played it last night on my new computer, and I was getting 130 FPS. Playing Ashes on this computer, I'm getting about 20 to 25 FPS. On my new computer, I'm getting 130. I like the combat, but the questing system is really rough, and the map is really like the map is really poor quality. Like when you bring up the map, like this is very clear and crisp and easy to see. The map is really not. Let's see if we have. I don't like the map. Let's see if we can get a picture of me pulling up the map. I do love the water, though. The water in this game is really good. Like, check out this water. And the sound effects are really good. The sound effects are great. The impactfulness of the weapon strikes and stuff is nice. You know. But I love the water. The water in this game is really nice. One of the biggest problems with the game is the lighting and stuff is totally screwed up. Like all the lighting, like see how it looks very bland? Not really bland. It's just like the lighting's weird. Like you'll be standing right here, and the lighting will be weird, and then you'll just turn your character and face the other direction, and then the lighting will be completely different. So the light sources and the lighting is really not correct. Yeah, it feels. It definitely. I 100% agree with you. I feel like there's no cohesion. Doesn't feel like there's any cohesion. Even Lazy Peon mentioned that. The art seems very kind of just like stuff seems kind of hodgepodge thrown around. It doesn't seem they really took a lot of time, and I'm sure they did take time, but it feels like it wasn't like someone sat down and said, "Hey, we're going to spec out the zones and the buildings and the terrain." Because really, when you create an MMO and you create a zone, the first thing you create is the elevation, the terrain. You go into like some sort of a terrain generator and you come up with like the lay of the land. Is it going to be hilly? Is it going to be rocky? Is it going to be a desert? Is it going to be mountainous? Or where's the water going to be? Where are the cliffs going to be? And all that kind of stuff. It doesn't feel like this was done very well, so. But I like the combat. I want to play it. I'm definitely gonna play it some more. To get my weapon skilled up, because there's so many skills. Like with your weapon, it's kind of like New World, right? Where when you use your weapon, it ranks up, and as it ranks up, you get points you can apply into new abilities with your weapon. But the weapon system is like really complicated. Like here, let me show you really quickly. Here, hold on a second. Do we have it? Let me show you what I mean really quickly about the weapon system. And then I can show you the mini-map. Oh, it looks like they did an update. Looks like they did an update. Or a patch. Oh my god, how much? I don't know how much of a patch. Well, I guess file operations, right? 46%. I guess we're halfway updating. But there's a lot of problems with Ashes has some really nice things, but I think the nice things revolve around the world has the potential to look really nice, and I think the crafting has the potential to be good. I like kind of what they're doing with the crafting, but I mean, it feels almost like New World crafting, which I like New World crafting. It's that like simple crafting, but not too simple. I mean, there's definitely some steps involved to doing things, and I think that's good. I don't want crafting. I mean, to me, Black Desert crafting is nice, but it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit over the top in some ways. Depends on which profession you're doing. Some professions are not as involved and as detailed as others. Shipbuilding I think must be one of the most involved because it takes forever to build ships. But oh my god, I don't know what's going on. I guess they did a pretty big update. I was hoping this would be quick. Yeah, I like New World's crafting. I think that was a good crafting system. I like Final Fantasy's crafting system. I think it's good. I thought Terra's crafting system was pretty good. I don't remember Ion's. I think Ion's was okay, but I mean, it's been so long since I played Ion. But yeah, I mean, I think if you did crafting similar to New World, you'd be in a pretty good area, Yeah, WoW crafting is really bad. Yeah, and it's not bad that it's just too simplistic. It's just, I mean, it was, when the game first came out, it was okay, back in 2004, but it hasn't evolved at all. It's way too simplistic, and there's way too few things. Like if, like for example, I'm gonna make a dragon scale leatherwork on this character, which is pretty much worthless. Dragon scale leatherwork is like probably the worst profession. I mean, I think it is. I think dragon scale leatherwork must be the worst profession in WoW, and that's just the one I'm gonna go because I'm doing a meme thing. I don't care. I want to be able to scale. I want to be able to skin dragons for scales just because I like doing it. You know. But I mean, this is the thing that gets me, and Lazy Peon said it too, but I mean, this is Unreal Engine 5. I mean, games made in Unreal Engine 5 can look amazing, and this game does not look amazing. There are certain areas of this world that look really nice, though. I mean, I think that the thing with Ashes is it feels like there's a team of artists, and like some of the artists, like just look at this here. Hold on a second. I mean, just look at this here. Like me logging into the game, and this is pretty nice looking. You got this nice waterfall. You got this beautiful grass here. This water is gorgeous. I mean, this is pretty cool, right? But what I was talking about with the lighting is it's really weird. Like, let me go into the shade. See, like, notice how like here I can see my character, but notice how when I turn it here. Look how dark everything gets. My character gets super dark. And there's really no light source. It's not like it should... Like, my character should look the same here, I think, lighting-wise, as she does here. I don't know why it's so dark. Because I'm in the shaded area. It's not like I'm standing in the sunlight. You know? So there's a lot of questions I have about the lighting. It feels really bad, you know. I don't like how the mobs have this weird bar. I think we're so used to in World of Warcraft having the health bar above, so I guess it doesn't bother me too much. So, anyways, I had to grind about 4 hours, maybe 3 hours, maybe not that long, maybe 2 hours. I probably grinded 2 hours to get enough money to buy the bronze greatsword I have here. Keep in mind, I'm a cleric, right? I'm a cleric. You wouldn't really think of a cleric with a greatsword, but for a solo build, for like a build where I can solo content, the greatsword is one of the recommended. Greatsword cleric is one that's supposed to be pretty good. The mobs, though, the monsters in the game look great. I mean, come on, whoever creates their creatures does a great job. Like, let me show you some of the creatures in the game, because they're all really nice. I mean, look at this guy. He's really cool looking. This otter. They're really cool. The sound effects, too. Whoever does the sound, I think they do a great job. Let me turn up the sound a little bit here. Hold on a second. I'm just going to turn up the sound a little bit. Turn the music down. I don't hear enough water, though. That's weird. That was interesting. When I ran into the mob, it slowed me down. Watch. It slows me down, and then I kind of walk through. That was kind of cool. I've never played an MMO that does this, where you kind of hit it and slow down and then kind of walk through slowly. That's interesting. I actually kind of like that. Okay, this is weird. I never saw a glitch like that in the graphics before. But let me just show you. I'm going to hit my sprint key here. I'll show you some of the different monsters. The spiders are really cool looking. Like, here's these weird dudes. They're like gremlins, man. These guys is like a little gremlin or something. I don't even remember how to attack. Here, how do I attack? Why am I not attacking? I don't know why my character's not swinging. I don't know if I messed up my key bindings or something. Hmm. I don't know why I'm not attacking. Well, I would say that the keybinds are really weird in this game because you have your regular weapon. You have your keybind when you're in action mode and your keybinds when you're out of action mode. So if you're using action cam, you have a different keybind than if you're not, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. Why would the keybinds be different? If I'm left clicking to swing my sword, it should work for both whether I'm using the action cam or not. Why does it have to be different? So that's really weird. Okay, it looks like my keybinds have been completely wiped. Oh, no, they're still there. A, D, no, they're... Can I... Is there a way to reset weapon attack? Set left mouse with this actual unbind weapon combo? I don't even know what weapon combo is. Here, let's try this. Anyway, so there's, you can see the different creatures. Like here's a deer. You know, here's the spiders. The spiders are real cool looking. You know, they're very cool looking. I will say though that there's not a lot of variety in the color though. The color of the spiders, the color of the deer. I mean, these colors are pretty poor. Like, I want a deer to have more brown in the fur than just this kind of gray, whatever. I mean, notice how the antler color is very similar to the color of the body. So I'm not really happy with the colors there. And same thing here with the spider. It's a lot of gray, you know. But they are very cool. The character models are really nice. Now, and like I said, and here's a wolf up here. And again, wolf's also kind of white and gray. Oh, they're attacking. But yeah, so the sound effect's really cool though. When I cast my spell here, it's got a really good impactful sound. So listen. I mean, that's pretty cool. But the movements, the movement's really fluid. The jumps is really good. I like the jump. I like how she puts her left hand out. That's kind of cool. The running this is the running. Pretty nice. Feels pretty good. I mean, I think they've really done a great job with the character controller. The controller feels really nice. You know, feels smooth. And that's really important. I think any MMO, that's one of the most important things. You've got the character has to feel smooth. The character's feet, when they touch the ground, have to feel like they're actually, you know, moving across real ground. They have to feel solid. And a lot of that comes from sound effects. You know? But just how the character turns can be really good or bad. This character turns good. It's not instant, but it's pretty close to instant, which I like. I don't like the games like where you run one direction and you turn and your character kind of slides to the right a little bit and then slows down and then turns left and then speeds up. I think that's too much. It's more realistic, but I don't think it's as fun. Keep in mind, this is yeah, a lot of my keybinds seem like they've been wiped. I don't know why. But keep in mind, I'm only getting like 20 to 30 FPS on this old computer. So it's not looking as good as it will look on my new computer, but... yeah. Oh, so I wanted to show you the minimap. So the things I like about the game are the character controller I think is really good. The sound effects I think are really good. The world itself, even though it seems really not... it seems really kind of random. Like, this all looks very random to me. Like these buildings and the structures are weird. It's like... I know this feels like it's supposed to be almost like a courtyard maybe, but it's just... it's hard to tell. Like, are these the walls of a city? It doesn't feel like it. You know? Like, what is this? What is this wall I'm standing on? See how there's like these layered walls? It just doesn't feel like a building you'd see in real life. Like, who would build something like this? Oh, let's build the walls seem very random. Why would you even have this wall here that I'm standing on? What's the purpose? I mean, you've got that wall down below, so why do you need this wall and that wall? I mean, you could say it's for extra defense to defend the keep, but I don't know. It just feels weird to me. Ooh! Oh, didn't take any damage. There is some, I think, climbing mechanics, I think. Let me see. See? There is some climbing mechanics. Which is kind of cool. And you saw that when I dropped from a big height, I rolled, which I think is also cool. Let's see if it does it here. No. Let me jump from a higher height. Which I always think that's cool. I always like that. I think that's nice. Now, again, the lighting seems to be really weird in this game. I'm getting a big reflection off my sword onto my face. That's okay. The lighting in this game is very bizarre. Obviously, a lot of the pathing needs to be adjusted. I mean, this deer is just sitting there with her head in the rock. But these are all, you know, this is an alpha, so that's not a big deal. This building, you know, is supposed to be a 2,000-year-old complex, but the rocks all look brand new. Like, you don't see a lot of any weather effects or, you know, the effects of time on the rocks, so, you know, it doesn't look old, even though some of the tops of those things up top are broken off. So that seems weird. Like this, you know, again, a lot of, like, a lack of color variation. I mean, this gate should be like iron, should be a completely different color, but it's actually fairly similar in color. Doesn't look like iron to me. It looks almost like stone, which is weird. Like, you wouldn't make a gate out of stone, so if this is metal, it doesn't really look like metal. It almost looks like metal with concrete in between. I don't know. It's just, you know, what? It's weird. So yeah, I agree with you too that the art seems very. It doesn't seem well thought out, and it doesn't feel very good. All right, so the minimap. Now the minimap is really. I don't like it. Everything's very bland, and the minimap, I don't like this. I don't like this style of minimap. Like, when you zoom in, it's just this very pixelated. I mean, look how pixelated the towers are. I mean, it does zoom in and out. I'm assuming that when we get a final version of the game, that this will be a much higher quality map. I'm assuming, I would imagine. But this structure, like this whole building, is just—it's massive. It's very bizarre to me. Like, I don't know who would build a structure like this. It seems the layout of it seems so random. Like, why is there a tower over there? See the tower in the distance? And what's up with that big ass tree? There's this tower. Let's see if we can get over here. I mean, why is that tower why are these towers just sitting over here? Like, what's the purpose of those towers? Are they like... Oh, I was hoping I could jump to that. Well, we don't take any fall damage. That could just be because it's an alpha. What are these? Just... Oh, we just hit an invisible barrier, guys. That's not good. I don't like that. Okay, there's an invisible barrier going from that wall to this building. So we can't get over here, which kind of sucks. This is if you're a miner, this is like in some sort of node. The swimming's cool though. The swimming feels nice. I think you can go underwater too. I don't know how. I don't know how. What is this bubble? No idea what that is. That's got to be a glitch. It's a big ping pong ball. But I think you're supposed to be able to swim down. I thought. Options. Movement. There's a thing called descend. Yeah, descend. So right now ascend is space. Descend should be C. But it's not doing it. Here, let's clear this one. Clear. Descend. No, cancel. C. It's not letting me keybind C for whatever reason. Let's make it let's make it I don't know. We'll make it V or something. Yeah, it won't let me do V either. Well, X is what I have to weapon swap, but X, it won't let me do X either. Now I gotta put my weapon swap back. Where's weapon swap? Yeah, so the key binding's weird. Like, we should be able to keybind that to anything I want, right? Why can't I keybind that to anything I want? That doesn't make sense. And I don't understand why they have weapon attack and action cam weapon attack. I don't understand this at all. Why do you need 2 keybinds for weapon attack? And when I say action cam, this is action cam. So right now we're in action cam mode. So when I move my mouse, the screen rotates. It's like, you know, mouse look mode, action cam, whatever you want to call it. Guild Wars 2 calls it action cam. Games like Black Desert Online, a lot of times those games call it mouse look. If I hit the Z key, we're back into like a World of Warcraft type mode where I have to right click on the screen to rotate. So my question is, why do I need a different keybind to swing my sword when I'm in this mode versus a different keybind to swing my sword when I'm in action mode? Why would I need that? I mean, it just bloats the keybinds and it makes things more difficult. So right now in action cam, I can left mouse button to attack, but in action cam, I can't swing my weapon because I'm not keybound. So yeah, I don't know. So there's definitely a lot of little weird things. And you can see when I come out of the menu, the action cam isn't working. Like when I'm moving my mouse and my keypad, nothing's happening. But once I right clicked on the screen, now it's working again. So the action cam is a little buggy. So far my experience with Astra Creation is the crafting was okay. Like I chopped down some trees, felt kind of like New World a little bit, chopped down some trees. I took the trees to a place where I turned the trees into lumber. That seemed pretty basic. But it seemed okay, you know, it worked. The world has some, I mean, the water looks really good. The waterfalls, I think, look pretty decent. Keep in mind, I'm on pretty low graphic detail because this is my old computer. So you can see there's some climbing mechanics in here, which is kind of cool. Whoa, you'd think I'd be able to climb up there. Guess not. We're in a little nook here. We're doing a little billy goat wall climbing here. There we go. Now we're underwater. It's okay, so here's the underwater. Now there's a glitch because I'm actually underwater, but you see the waves around my arms here is kind of what you would see when I'm on top of water. And there is a breath meter there, so we can't. So that was kind of interesting. I love the water though. I think the water's really cool. I like how when you walk into it, you create waves. See the waves? And they spread out. The water's really good. Yeah. And see how the waves went? See how far they went? Check this out. I'll just walk in there and look at the waves. Look at how they spread across the Well, you gotta admit, that's pretty cool. Now I think I'm kind of stuck because we got past this gate by jumping over it. I don't see a way to get back. Actually, over here. It looks like we got to climb over here. Yeah, to me it feels like there's different artists working on different parts of the game. And when I looked at some of the live streams, the zones in the live streams looked way better than this, like way better. So obviously they were showing us, and which isn't surprising. They were showing us, you know, content that was at the highest resolution, all the graphical detail turned up on a really powerful computer probably, and then live streaming. So it looked really good. But I think I can get up this way. Yeah, I hope. Well, I played New World. I was in New World in the very, very early access to New World. I was in New World like 3 or 4 years before the game came out. Went back when it was a full-on PvP game. And the graphics even then looked good. You know, the graphics then. The thing about New World is, oh my god, New World is a beautiful game. The grass, the foliage, the trees, absolutely gorgeous. I think New World looks fantastic. I love the way the world looks in New World. So we did find our way back up. We can target a mob and go smash it with my sword. Keep in mind, I'm a cleric, guys. I think we bit on more than we could chew. We're gonna kite a little bit. So that points out a thing about the game I do like, is that it's actually, you can't just like, I mean, if you go up against a mob in this game that's 1 level or 2 levels above you, be prepared to take some damage. You know what I mean? These monsters are level 3 and I'm level, I think, 4. Actually 5. If you look down at the bottom of my screen, there's a little level bar, experience bar, and to the left of it, it says 5. So I'm currently level 5. These mobs are level 3, and I just pulled 2 of them, and they almost killed me. So I like that. I think that's really cool. So at this point in the game, I think the one thing that gives me hope for this game is that probably one of the most important things in MMO is the combat, and they've really done a good job with the combat. I mean, it feels good. The combat feels very good. The movement feels really good. So having that part, that's a really good basis for an MMO. Just that. Just having the combat and then the movement be that good. These other things, you can fix these other things. Now, I don't know. I mean, trying to fix like the level design, I mean, that's obviously a huge endeavor. But the level design, like this city just seems, doesn't it seem so disorganized? I don't know. Another thing that this game has, which I really like, Volst, is it's got the lineage 2 thing. And what I mean by that is when I sit down, you regenerate your health and your mana faster when you're sitting. And that's an old school MMO thing. Because by sitting down, you're telling the game, I'm resting. Okay, I'm resting. And while I'm resting, I recuperate my resources faster. So it's kind of similar to like making camp. Maybe they'll have making camp in this game, I don't know. But I love the fact that when you sit down, you regenerate health faster, which I'm a big fan of that, so. I just like that. Because what it does is it makes you as a player take breaks. It makes you take a few second break every so often. Because then you can take a break, you can sit down, you can regenerate some health, and while you're doing that, you can maybe take a bite of food in the real world, you can drink your soda, you know. It forces you to just kind of relax. And I like that. Now, the resource that we keep getting off these mobs is called glint, which to me is a really bizarre... Oops. Oh, these guys... Yeah, those guys are level 5. No wonder I was taking some damage. But to me, it's really strange that when you kill all these monsters, they're dropping this thing called glint, which you can merge. Like if I go to my inventory and I go to materials, or sorry, items, you're looting. Actually, I don't see any glint. That's weird because we looted some just 2 seconds ago. I could have sworn we just looted some glint, didn't we? Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's in your materials. So, dull glint, the physical manifestation of essence. I'm not a fan of that. Like, apparently every creature has essence. I would prefer it to be more realistic. You know, like... I would prefer that when I kill a wolf, it drops like meat or fur or teeth or bones. You know what I mean? To me, that's more realistic. So I think dropping some really weird mythical thing called essence is kind of strange. Lint, yeah, lint. So I'm not really a fan of that. But what I was trying to do is I was trying to Oh, this person healed me, thank you. And I just healed them. See that? How do I... Here, we got to go out of action mode to type, I think. Yeah, thank you. I kind of wanted to look at the city from above at a distance. Because, again, it just doesn't seem to... I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like... The world so far I'm not impressed with. Outside of the water. And like I said, the lighting is really bizarre. Like, it's just really bizarre. Like, there's places in town when you go in town where you'll be incredibly well lit. You'll just turn your camera like this, and then it's super dark, and there's literally no light sources near your character at all. So it makes no sense. Why would the lighting change? You know. So here's a level 3 wolf. Now watch the difference between killing a level 3 and a level 5. So that was a level 3 wolf and that was a level 1 wolf, and I just annihilated them. But when I fought one level 5 wolf, I mean, he was almost killing me. So huge difference in level, which I like. I actually like that. I think that's cool. Anyways, so this is Ashes of Creation. I think it's got potential. I just think that I'm a little disappointed. I wouldn't say a little. I said I'm very disappointed visually with how it looks visually. I expected it to look a lot better. And the only reason I say that is because when you look at their live streams, some of them look really nice. Like if we go to Ashes of Creation, and we go to, if we can find their channel, and we search for, let's just do maybe like a Ranger live stream. Is there a Ranger live stream? Ranger update?
Into the creation of this archetype.
Actually, you can see this one does look pretty much like what we saw in game. So this isn't the best one, I don't think. But this is like a snowy area. And it looks pretty dismal. It looks pretty dismal. Let's see. Live stream. How about the warrior? Here, notes for this one. This one might have it. Let's see.
The top right corner, the man.
So here,
Number of different war types that are available.
like when you look at it here, it looks really nice. Like the grass looks good. The structures are pretty cool. I think, I think there's a lot of polish this game needs. And of course, again, this is an alpha, so that's to be expected. But everything looks way too pristine, even though it's worn and there's just everything looks like the ground looks. There's just everything's too, and the easiest way I can compare it, the one game that does it better than any game I've ever played is Dark Arisen. Is Dragon's Dogma. I've never seen a game that does a better job of really dirtying up the buildings, the structures. Everything is really corroded, and you know what I mean? Like the attention to detail on the buildings. Like when you look at the buildings, you can see the dirt on the walls here. Look at all the dirt. And this is someone playing probably on this looks like someone playing on a console. So this is really, really poor version of it. But I don't know if my Steam account's still active, but let's see really quick if I got Steam. I don't know if I still have Steam installed on this machine. I'll show you really quick some screenshots that'll show you what I'm talking about. And I don't know why every time I log into WoW, it always goes to Dream Scythe. I have no characters on Dream Scythe, but every time I log into Anniversary, it always loads me into this server. Every time. It's like, I don't have any characters on that server. Log me into the server where I actually have characters. I don't know why it does that. That's so weird. So where's my Steam? Did it open up Steam? Did it not open up Steam? No? Quit that. It's still trying to launch Steam. All right, cool. So we're into Steam. So if we go to I'm trying to remember how to get to it. I think if we go here, profile, screenshots is what I'm looking for. Here we go. So if we go to my screenshots, I'm going to show you, hopefully, I don't know, I don't seem as many, I don't care about Steam as made easier. I want to see my screenshots. Why is there? Thank you. I had to like click off. So these are screenshots of Dragon's Dogma, and let me show you one that really. There's a couple that really kind of emphasize what I want. This one's a really good one, just because. Why is it taking so long to load? Why is it taking so long to load? This only happens when you're on stream, right? Okay, so one of the things that's cool too about Dragon's Dogma is how the terrain's got a lot of slope to it. Like there's a lot of like curvature, which is cool. And this is like not really good terrain here, so it's not a good example. But there is a lot of. I just want to show you there's a lot of variation in the curvature of the land. This one I think has a pretty good. This one actually has some pretty good stuff. So if you look at just the ground, look at like how the path, like the main path through this kind of where people would walk along this pathway. See how it's like worn down in the middle, and notice how there's so much erosion here. See how like by the building there's grass, but then it kind of falls off into this dirty road because there's just people walking through here constantly. So there's all this erosion of the dirt being eroded by weather and rain. So that's pretty cool. And there's actually some better pictures. I just got to find them. Here's a picture I took just of the door texture because I thought the door texture looked good. But I mean, look at the texture on the door. And I took the screenshot and I called it door texture. But look at the detail on this door texture. I mean, that's crazy. Look at like how at the bottom it's kind of pale in color. Look how it gets up towards the top. It gets all like dark, and this would be attributed probably the fact that as it rains outside, the rain kind of seeps in off the roof, and it kind of seeps into the wood at the top. So the rain over time is causing the top of this wood to kind of rot a little bit, and that's probably attributing to the darkness of the color. So there's thought process going into this. Like they're thinking, what are these things going to look like? How is people walking on the path going to affect this? How is the rain affecting this door? You know what I mean? And it's just, you can tell everything you look at. Here's another example. These are the pictures I really was trying to show you. How do I do like, there's a way I can, I thought I could make these bigger, but here's another screenshot where you can see, look at the steps. Like notice how the step goes into the mud here, like how it kind of goes in and then the mud kind of curves over just from a natural erosion. And then notice how the steps are worn down in the middle. See how they dip in the middle? That would be from people walking up and down them over years and years of walking up these little, blocks. See how they're just cracked and worn from the weight of people walking up and down them. Notice how the blocks on the edge here are very straight and less affected because people aren't stepping on this part of the step. They're stepping on the middle. Again, obviously they've thought about what these things are going to look like in game and how the world is being affected by people living in the world. That's just really cool. And then again, here's another one. And you can see once again, you see the path where people are walking down the path. You can see how the rainfall has eroded this path down and exposed rock, which is pretty normal. If you have a muddy, dirty road and enough rain falls on it, it'll erode the mud away, and eventually it will expose sometimes rocks underneath. Well, big rocks aren't going to roll away in just light rain, so they stay there. So the rocks are there. So you have exposed rock where the rain has eroded away the dirt. And again, as you just look, you see how the dirt kind of curves around the wood and how these steps are worn in the middle. And, it's just, I love it. I love the attention to detail. Oh, here's another really good one. And the reason this one's so good is this is like a sewage. Like this is like some sort of a sewage, where the water drains out here. And you can see, so water builds up in this area, and you can see where the water has sat here and kind of just caused like a little ditch. It's dry right now, but you can imagine that when it rains, this fills up with a little bit of water here. So it's just kind of like almost like a little side ditch. Again, if you look at the stone steps, notice how they're really worn in the middle from people walking up and down them. And notice how the seams of the ground meeting the walls are always curved. They're not straight. I never want to go into an MMO and see like a wall meet a ground and see a perfectly straight line, because we don't have perfectly straight lines in the real world. No wall goes into grass and dirt and forms a perfectly straight line. Doesn't make sense. And this one's a really cool picture. So what I like about this is the grittiness of it, like the dirty grit. It feels so like medieval. Like you look at these inn buildings. Notice this wheat field. The wheat looks great, by the way. Notice like how dirty the buildings look. Notice how the ropes. Notice how the roofs are sloped. You know, because they're not perfect. This is like freaking medieval, right? The wood has like gotten weak and bent in the middle from maybe rain. Who knows? Maybe snow built on them at some point. I think I've got a better picture of those buildings here. And again, look at the stone here, like how it's all like kind of got impressions in it and it's bent and worn. Notice how the building, like how the roof, look at the edge of the roof here. Notice how the tiles or whatever these wooden beams are bent down. See how they're bent down here? They're straight, and as they get further and further down, they kind of bend. Again, what attention to detail. That's a massive amount of attention to detail. And if you look at the roof up here, you can see a lot of kind of curve down into it. Again, you can see the edge of the roof bending over. That's just natural like gravity. You know, the wood gets wet, it gets old, it starts to maybe just sag a little bit. You can see how the street goes down at an angle. And you can see the dirt as it kind of, again, how the dirt meets, you know, how the buildings meet the road, you know, how the buildings meet the dirt. There's just every little piece of this building, if you look at it under a microscope, you're going to see like a lot of variation. You don't see repetitive tiling. You don't see like this panel doesn't look the same as this panel. You know what I mean? This little area here this area doesn't look the same. It's similar, but it's not identical. Everything's unique. I think Dragon's Dogma is one of the best games I've ever seen for that level of detail. And so you can't really get that in an MMO in an MMO like Ashes of Creation because it's such a big game, but you've got to have some attention to detail. You need to put some in there. You can't make everything just look pristine. And when I look at Ashes of Creation, all the buildings just look like they created a character model or a model of a building. They just dropped it in the world. They didn't do anything to it. They didn't try to do any kind of polish, you know. So, anyways, that was our foray into Ashes of Creation. Yeah, and then back into World of Warcraft. Completely different looking, right? This looks completely different. Yeah, there's actually color. Yeah, you get in here, it's like, oh, there's actually color. It's not all bland and, you know. The dragon scale leatherworker, the biggest meme profession of all. I love the fact that I'm going dragon scale leatherworking. I think that's awesome. Almost level 20. Almost level 20. There it is. Level 20. Seal of Command. Cha-ching. Oh, the 48 damage. Now I can wipe a whole group in VC. Let's do it. Just run in there and pull the whole place, and then run out. Bubble and hearth, bubble hearth, right? I don't think we can bubble hearth though. I think they changed it so you can't. Yes, thank you.
Well met. Light bless you.
Alright, do we have any more quests to turn in? Oh, actually we do have 2 more quests to turn in. Oh. It is tough though, Vols, to go from an action game, you know, a combat system like Ashes,
Hello.
then you come back
Safe
into
travels.
this game.
See you later.
It's a little punishing, you know, because it's like auto attack, auto attack.
Hello.
Ooh, leather, leather. I like the leather. Murloc eye. Ooh.
Be careful.
Could always be a I never played RuneScape. Well, I think maybe I played it for like 5 minutes. I can't deal with that old graphics, man. Yeah, I can't deal with that old graphics. Oh, I did buy the trinket. I did buy the trinket for my Paladin, the Uther's Light. I got one on sale for 23 gold today, which is the cheapest I've seen on the server. So my hunter bought it. So I think that's like a level 47 trinket. So we got to get to level. We got to get to level 47 to use it. So, which should not be a problem.
Hey there. See you around. You need something?
I don't know. What do I need? I need to get rid of all this junk out of my inventory is what I need to do.
Go with honor, friend.
Hello. See you around.
Too many bloody notes. Too much crap in my inventory. All right, I think that's it though. I think I'm gonna take a break. I've been streaming for like 3 hours. I need to walk the dog. I need to walk the dog. I don't know, like, how far I want to go on the Paladin before I want to jump back on my 5100 and get the 100 to 60. But I'm having fun on the Paladin. Well, actually, we need to play around with our newly acquired Seal of Command. Here, let me try something. Okay, we were doing 31 DPS per second. Let's see what we do now with Seal of Command. Let's kill a few boars real quick. Ashes of Creation water versus World of Warcraft water. I think Ashes wins. I think Ashes wins. Oh, like WoW has the worst underwater swimming. I mean, not the control of your character, but just the underwater. It doesn't look like you're even hardly underwater. Biff. Okay, we only had one proc of Seal of Command, but it still did some damage. Why am I putting that? I could buy a better one. Whatever. Ah, I will be. Actually, right now I'm leveling with a. I probably shouldn't have called it prot yet. It's not going to be prot until probably like 40 when I respec. We can go prot though. Like right now, I've got Seal Command, right? So we're doing kind of like a rep prot build. But once I hit 40, we'll go full prot. Once we hit 40, we could switch though. I mean, Kevin, normally I do that. Like right now, we're pretty much Retribution, but we are set up, and we've got Deflection, we've got Benediction, Seal Command. I was gonna do that, but I do miss Consecrate. I know at some point I'm probably just gonna respec because I miss Consecrate. Normally, I'll do a build like this build here, or not this one. Normally I'll do, you know, something like this, which is like my kind of AoE prot tanking build. You know, something like this. But currently we're pretty much ret. But I'll probably, you know, and I was going to do ret to 40. Or like a ret prot build to 40. But I don't know. The problem with that is I always miss Consecration, because Consecration is such a... Plus, if I switch to Consecration, then we can tank pretty much right away. We can start focusing on tanking. But, you know, tanking in hardcore is always a little tricky. You never know what kind of idiots you're going to get. Although if I get people from my guild, it should be okay. My guild's actually pretty cool. We got some nice people. So... like right now, we're pretty much Retribution. I mean, we have Seal Command, so... we got Parry, we got Benediction, and we got Seal. Like right there, we just procced our Seal. We just procced our Seal again. So we've already done 100 damage in this fight from Seal Command. I don't know if... is Seal of Command holy damage? I don't think it is. 122, that's a crit. I don't hardly ever run Seal of Command. Okay, so the Unleashed Seal will do damage. So, you know, judging them with Crusader does increase my judgment damage of Seal of Command. Yeah, I mean the Judgment at least. Oh shit. Okay. This is not good. I did not want to aggro belly grub. We definitely didn't want to aggro. We didn't want to aggro belly grub. But the damage, it says basically gives the paladin a chance to deal additional... Oh no, it is holy damage. Yes, okay, cool. It is holy damage. Yeah, the proc of the seal is holy damage. So that's good. So yeah, we still want to judge with Crusader then. To increase our damage of Seal of Command and Seal of Command Judgment. Right now I'm just playing around with Seal to see how much additional damage we're going to get out of Seal of Command, but... But I'm already missing Consecration, so, you know. Already missing Consecration. Yeah. You know, there's been times in the past when I've tried to do the build this way. Like, I've tried to go command, and I think command is good if you're doing a two-hand weapon. Even with a one-hand weapon, it definitely will increase your damage, but I think being able to tank is just too much. I think being able to get groups as a tank is just too much of a benefit, going with a, you know, more traditional deep prot build. So, I don't think I can stay with the Seal of Command, a Ret. I just don't think I can do it. I miss Consecration too much. Miss my ability to push the protection early. So basically what we would do is we'd go with something like if I respec now, what we'll do is we'll go into Divine Intellect, we'll go into Seal of Righteousness, we'll grab Consecration, and then we're going to go straight into tank. You know, we're going to go boom, precision, get into shield specialization, and then we'll probably push Improved Righteous Fury, Blessing of Kings, not Anticipation. Anticipation sucks. And yeah, so level 41, that's what we'll be. That's what we'll be at level 41. This would be our level 41 build. Now, right now, we're currently level 20. So if we respec right now, we're just going to be this. We're just going to be, you know, Consecration. The nice thing about Consecration is we will then be able to take on multiple targets. Because the other thing, though... The other build that I thought about trying was something like this, which would be kind of weird, but it'd go Benediction, Deflection, and don't go Seal of Command. Go 1 point of Judgment, Conviction, Improve Ret Aura, and then you're leveling with, you've got Consecration, but you're using Retribution Aura. So with this build, you're kind of really pushing out more DPS AoE wise, and then you can go into your protection, right? Now you're going to prot, right? Let's see. But you're not going to get very far into prot at this point, though, right? I mean, you could do something like this, and this would be interesting. I've never done this build before. But this is going to give you Consecration. You're using Seal of Righteous. You've got more crit, but you're increasing damage of Retribution more by 50%. So you're going to do a lot more damage with Retribution. I've never actually done this build, but it could be good for like just a level. And then what I would do is since this isn't really very good for tanking, I would back out of Righteousness here, and I would just grab. And since you're probably going to use Blessing, you're not going to be using Blessing of King. Blessing of Kings is more for when... the reason I get Blessing of Kings used on a Paladin is usually when I'm running more groups, because Blessing of Kings is just... It's really easy to just bless Kings on everybody in the party and be done with it. I mean, if it's a healer, maybe give him mana, maybe give him Blessing of Wisdom. But, you know, like rogues, you know, other melee, they're going to... It's nice to give them... I mean, honestly, you're going to be giving Blessing Salvation a lot too, just because you don't want them to pull threat. So... But Kings is pretty good. That's a good way to generate threat too. But I don't know. I mean, if you really wanted to maximize this for a non-dungeon role and you're just trying to level, I would not get Blessing of Kings. because you're going to be running with like blessing of blessing of wisdom probably, blessing of wisdom and blessing of might. So in that case, I would run probably. What is the cooldown hammer? It's 1 minute. $57. Yeah, I would just go raw. I'd just go red. I don't know. You could do something like this. I don't know. It would be interesting. I've never done this build, like I said, and I'm not sure. The only problem with this build is you're going to miss out. You're not going to have. I mean, really, the only thing you don't have with this build is you don't have Holy Shield, which and you don't have one-hand web specialization, and you don't have Reckoning. Because I like to go, like, if you back this out. I like to go like this. I like to maybe go something more like along the lines of this for AoE, for AoE leveling. Not tanking dungeons, just straight up AoE like leveling. A lot of people don't like Holy Shield because it's very mana intensive, but you only use Holy Shield when you proc Redoubt. Because when you proc Redoubt, it gives you 30% chance to block on top of your normal chance to block, which is like, I don't know, 10 or something percent. So you're like at 40% chance to block, and then you use Holy Shield. That's going to push you up to like 70% chance to block. So you're definitely going to, and when you're pulling big pulls, you're going to go through all 4 charges, like instantly. And it does do good damage. So I like using it. You won't use it a lot. And like in a pull, you might throw in maybe 3 Holy Shields during the entire pull. The entire pull of like, 10 people. But I like it. I like having it. I think, and it's also in situations when you're really low on health, but you have a lot of mana, and maybe there's 3 mobs, and you don't want to cast a heal because we don't have spiritual focus. So there's going to be a lot of pushback, and maybe our Hammer of Justice is on cooldown, so we can't hodge one, and maybe face cast Holy Light in 2 mobs with a little bit of pushback. In that situation, we're just going to go for max DPS, and if we've got a lot of mana, we're going to pop like a higher rank Consecration, and we're just going to start spamming Holy Shields because that's going to push out the most damage that we can. So, there's so many different ways you can build a Paladin. It's crazy. And I don't think any of the builds are really wrong. Like I said, I think it really comes down to what are you trying to do? Like, what is your focus? Are you trying to tank dungeons? Are you trying to level quickly? If you're trying to level really fast, Retribution is going to be better early on because you just don't have enough stuff for an AoE build early. But once you get to like 25, 30, then going back towards more of an AoE build might be. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do like Ret. I wanted to push like a Ret build until like 40 and then respec. But it's tough because my favorite thing to do on a Protection Paladin is do AoE, is pull mobs, like multiple mobs, and just burn them down. So, anyways, I'm going to take a break. I'm tired. I've been streaming for 3 hours and been talking my head off the entire time, so I'm old. I can't help it. I get tired easy. Hope you guys are having a good, what is it, Monday? Ret's fun, but it's not, I don't think it's as fun. Like with Ret, like, to really make the Ret work, we'd have to get a good 2-hand weapon. It could be, it could be fun, though. You're right. You're right. It could be fun. Yes, I played Lineage 2. I was on Bart's server. Spellhowler, Mogadian. No, I never do Varrigan's Fist because I don't like running around to get it. But maybe I should do it. But I don't normally do it. What level is this? Oh, it's a 60 human warrior. It is a good mace for sure. Yeah, it's a very good mace. We need to get a flurry axe, but I don't know how I'm going to get a flurry axe. Unless there's one really cheap. I mean, I've got like 170 gold. Maybe if there was one, I don't know if we're going to get one that cheap though. I mean, I got my first flurry axe on my hunter for like 150 gold. So it's possible. Yeah. There's not even a flurry. Yeah, there's not a flurry axe up there right now. Let's see. What's a good? Let's see if there's a good two-hand mace. If we stuck with, let's see. If we stuck with, yeah. So like here the 10 gold, pretty good, but it's too fast. I mean, 2.8 is fast. Here's 3.2, 3.3. That's why these are so expensive. It's all about the weapon speed. You know. You know. I mean, I'm not gonna play. I'm not paying 20 gold for a weapon. Currently, I have. Let's see. Ooh, we could get a diamond hammer. That would be a little bit of an up. It would be a little bit of an upgrade. It wouldn't be huge. A little 49 silver on a long. Maybe we could bid and get lucky. $53. Currently, I'm using the level 15 sword, which is not here. One-handed sword. So I'm currently using this one. So it's 46 on the top end. Yeah, it's 2.6. So 13.5 DPS versus 16.2. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, Vols. I like consecration so much. I like that style of play of like pulling like 2-3 mobs, dropping consecrate, and just kind of letting my shield do the talking. We'll get like a mithril shield spike, get a decent shield, put a shield spike on it, throw up red aura, start killing people. And we'll see, but we'll see. There's actually another build. There's another build that I've done, which is really like before I really knew like about Protection Bound when I first played Protection Bound and all those years ago. I didn't really know what I was doing, and so I actually went into anticipation because on the surface you would think, oh, I'm a protection paladin, so shouldn't I go for something that increases my defense? But the problem with anticipation is increasing your defense by 10 only increases your chance to parry, block, and dodge an attack by 0.4%. It's not even 1%, right? Like every skill, I think every defense, every point of defense only increases your chance to block by like 0.0. But it's like really small. I think it takes like 20. I think it would take 25 defense to increase your block, parry, dodge by 1%. So 10 is like pretty crappy. I mean, 5 talent points is a lot of talent points. Yeah, there you go. So each point only gives you 0.04. So 10 is 0.4. So 10 defense is not even half of a percent, right? So you do the math. I mean, do you really feel like 5 talent points in anticipation is worth 0.4% increase in your chance to block, parry, or dodge? I don't think it's worth it at all. I think it's pretty crappy. To me, like 5 talent points should have been a lot more. In the Burning Crusade, they increased it to each talent point increases. Like right now, I think it's 2. I think in the Burning Crusade, I believe they changed it to 5, maybe? So that you would have that maybe like if you put 5 talent points in this, it would basically give you 1%. I think it should be double that, to be honest. I think it should be 10. I think every talent point you put into anticipation should give you like 10 defense. I mean, to me, like, I don't know. I just feel like that way you'd get like 2% increase on your dodge, parry, block, which I think is, 5 talent points is a lot of talent points in the grand scheme of your whole talent build. 5 talent points is a lot of talent points to use in anything, right? And if you look at something like Conviction, 1 talent point gives you 1% crit. So why does 1 talent point defense only give you 0.04% chance to dodge? 0.04. That's garbage, right? And 5 talent points only give you it's 0.08, sorry, 0.08. And 5 talent points only give you 0.4. So 5 talent points here don't even give you 0.5%, where 5 talent points here give you 5% crit. So to me, that's completely imbalanced. So yes, I believe that anticipation is garbage, and I don't think anybody should put talent points into this. I just think it's terrible. I'd rather put talent points somewhere else. Which is sad, really, because, you know... I mean, the one thing I would change in Classic Plus, if I was reworking the Paladin in Classic Plus, I would definitely give them another attack. I would give them, like, a Crusader Strike or a Holy... I would give them, like, a Holy Strike. Something that... You know, I would just give them, like, another attack, like Holy Strike. I would change this stat to be something different. Probably what I would do on this is I would change Anticipation to be rank 0 out of 3. And every point you put in it, I would say increases your chance to block by 1%. And maybe parry. Like, every point you put in increases your block and parry by 1%. So you could go up to, like, 3% additional block and parry. I wouldn't put it into dodge, though. That's probably what I would do. And to me, that would be good. That'd be great. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll put 3 talent points and get 3%, you know, parry and 3% additional block. I think that's great. I think that makes sense, you know. And then, of course, you know, there's other things. I would give the Paladin a taunt, obviously. Paladins definitely need a taunt. And I would give the Paladin some way to regenerate mana a little bit better. Probably, I would give the Paladin... I would probably rework the talent trees a little bit. Kind of how they did in, like, the War Within. I would almost like to see 4 talent trees. I would like to see a Paladin talent, just a base Paladin talents, and then 3 other trees: Protection, Holy, and Ret. And then in the base tree, I would like to see an ability in the base tree that you can put points into that increases your mana regeneration rate. And that would work across all your trees. That's probably what I would do if I was doing a Classic Plus. I would probably add in a 4th tree for just baseline Paladin abilities. That way you could and then you could focus on maybe more mana regeneration in that baseline tree, or you could focus more on damage. You could say, you know what, I don't want mana regeneration, I want more damage, and you could put a few talent points into something that just maybe bumps up your DPS a little bit. That way you could specialize more as a healer. You could put some points in your base tree that would increase your overall healing. Or you could put points that increase your mana regeneration, or maybe increase your hardiness, maybe increase your health pool or something. Stuff like that, I think would be cool. Anyways, I'm going to take a break. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. I'm going to go walk the dog. Maybe get a bite to eat. But I'm trying not to eat too much today because tomorrow's Christmas, and I know I'm going to be eating a lot of food tomorrow. So I'm trying really hard not to eat much today. Yeah, because I've gained too much weight. Like last year, I think I put on like 10 pounds, man. And that's 10 pounds I didn't want to put on. I wanted to lose 10 pounds, not put on 10 pounds. That's too much sitting on my ass playing video games. When you guys get to be my age, when you get to be 54 years old, sitting on your ass playing video games, you put on the weight. It just sucks, man. You got to exercise. So I think this year I got to exercise more. I don't know what I'm going to do, work out with weights more, or who knows. Anyways, I'm just spewing shit now. I'll catch you guys later, man. Peace out.